Welcome to the Hunter's Advantage podcast, where a group of budget-minded hunters scour the woods for whitetail bucks and whatever other big game is in season. Tune in each week to hear the hilarious public and private land hunting stories and mistake-filled lessons learned. We believe that every hunt brings us closer to God and that we exist to share the good news. And now, your hosts, Christian Babcock and Jake Gaylord.
Listen, guys, we wouldn't be able to do the podcast if it wasn't for you all. So we just want to say that you guys are greatly appreciated, and thank you for following along each week.
And speaking of support, we are partnered with Out on a Limb Manufacturing, and I can tell you from firsthand experience, Matt and Chase are great, down-to-earth guys, and they make some of the best saddle hunting products out there. Whether you're looking for a set of climbing sticks or a mobile, lightweight, hang-on tree stand, or maybe you're even a one-sticker.
You mean tree Pilates?
Yes, tree Pilates. If you've been to the grocery store or the gas station lately, you know that Uncle Joe is doing his absolute worst to take all your money. That's why we need hunting gear that lasts year after year. And trust me, I've been rocking the same Out on a Limb Shakar climbing sticks for 4 years and the Ridge Runner 2.0 saddle hunting platform for a few years as well. This gear is built to last.
We can confidently say that Out on a Limb is the best bang for your buck.
And it's the best gear if you want to deflate a big old buck.
Ooh. Make sure you use code HNTA15 at outonalimbmfg.com for 15% off anything on their website.
So if you can show them the same support that you guys show us, please go to outonalimbmfg.com and use code HNTA15 for 15% off at checkout. Now let's get back to the podcast.
We're all going to be.
You're still going to have to read that.
Are you serious?
Hi, all.
Okay.
Veterans Outdoorsman said, hey, hi, all. Hello,
sir.
Yeah, so we're here in, what part of Missouri are we in?
Marshfield.
We're in Marshfield, Missouri here at Patriot Archery.
Yep. Pretty sweet place.
Dude, the best archery shop I've been in, but also the best backyard archery shop I've been in.
Your guys' reaction was my exact reaction when I first started coming here.
That's
I moved
amazing.
here, and I was like, where is this place at? And it's in his backyard. And then we walk in the door. I'm like, holy crap.
Well, we pulled up, and I was like, are we stopping by Brandon's house first before we go to his
Mhm.
place, or what's up?
Yeah. I told you it was weird. It's like a shed in the backyard.
It's
And
awesome.
I know you guys formed your own opinion. You're like, oh, what's this?
This
Gonna-
is the man cave.
Yeah. It's going to be hot. No AC. No, this is good.
He even has the Second Amendment up there on the wall.
Yep.
Yeah. So does he usually just have customers come right to that backyard?
Oh, yeah. All the time. Well, he has dogs. They can't get out.
True.
And like, customers are loyal. Very loyal.
I mean, yeah. If you're going to let them in your home, basically, they got to be loyal.
pretty much.
You can't
Yeah.
be letting the crazies
But
in.
no, it's a sweet little shop, and Troy's awesome. He's a great bow tech.
Yeah, so if you guys are in Marshfield, Missouri
Yep.
area, come check out Patriot Archery. And thank you for letting us invade your home, Troy. We appreciate it. This is an extension of it.
He's not going to listen to this.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But if he does want, you're right, he's not a tech
No,
guy.
he's not going to listen to this.
Well, just in case he does one day, thank you. Thank you. No, it's awesome in here. Really cool shop. You're about, Veteran Outdoorsman said you're about 2 hours from me.
Where are you at?
Where are you, Mr. Veteran Outdoorsman? Oh, Instagram comments too. I forgot. Don't come through here. That is so small.
Yeah, you definitely can't read those.
Let's go. Jake has a hairline.
Yeah, that's
Jake
true.
has a receding hairline.
27, receding, balding. Get it? My last name's Gaylord. Make poke fun. Like it.
Oh, dude. One time we got on a. Who were we talking to that was talking about our last
I don't
names?
know.
So no, we got on a YouTube video one time, and somebody goes, "Yeah,
It was
Gaylord."
TikTok.
Yeah, he goes, "Gaylord and Babcock. Those are definitely fake names."
Yeah. Sadly, they're not, sir. We were born with them.
Those
Oh,
are
so-
kind of weird. I mean, you guys had
Together.
together.
Together, they're
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, Babcock and
Gaylord.
Gaylord.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's good.
it's pretty
Lord
great.
of the gays. Yes.
The heir to the OU throne.
Yes.
St. Clair.
Okay,
St. Clair,
How
Missouri.
far is that?
about 2
yeah,
hours.
I guess. Sorry. Hey, listen, long day.
Give Jake a break here.
Yeah,
Oh, that's awesome. He said head north to Iowa. Oh yeah, Kyle Ford Outdoors. Yeah, he usually tunes in the lives. He's from Iowa.
heck yeah.
I wish, the land of the giants.
We need a Michigan bow hunter in here.
I know, a Michigander.
Michigander.
Yeah, so obviously we do these live podcasts from time to time. So if you guys are listening, feel free to drop a comment below or
a topic, and we'll kind of cover it. We got Brandon here, so just our wealth of unnotched knowledge.
Oh yeah,
down here in southern Missouri.
yeah. I'm gonna teach everybody how to kill big.
Yeah.
Teach everybody.
In the hardest state.
Yeah, exactly. In the hardest state. I saw that you had a TikTok it was probably a couple months ago, but it was you talking about shooting turkeys, and you responded with like you shooting one.
Yeah,
that was a good one.
Yeah, that was pretty. I don't usually do those, but I don't know. It kind of seemed like he was like, "Oh, just because you're gobbling doesn't mean." Around here, like if you can get one gobbling like that one was, unless you're just dumb, I mean, you got it kind of figured out.
You can kill one.
Yeah, but I'm dumb, so
I didn't have it figured out.
Yeah, that one I did. That one I did. This year, no.
It wasn't a lack of effort though. This year, was it?
No, man, it was weird. We had again, I'm fairly new to this, but the first weekend I heard birds gobble. I didn't hear another bird gobble the next 2 weekends I hunted. Not one. There was maybe a gobble, but I didn't know if it was a gobble, maybe like a woodpecker, and I'm just like wishing it was a gobble.
Yeah,
and it was rough. But yeah,
sometimes the faint ones you can like make it up. You're like, no, the longer you go, the more you're like, that was definitely a gobble.
You know? Especially if you're hunting with somebody, like, nah, dude, I promise you, there was a gobble. Like,
yeah,
there's one back there.
Yeah, I didn't turkey out one time this year.
Really?
Not once. Jake usually never does, anyways.
No, I went out once and found out why I don't go. I didn't see anything or hear anything. So,
dude, they're struggling in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Pretty bad.
It's just one of those things where, like, if you guys were to come down here, that'd be something super easy for us to, like, we could have turkey hunted today and would have been fine. It's not like deer hunting where we're all packing a bunch of crap to go everywhere and going to spots hunting. I mean, we're going to be hunting public if we hunt turkeys, but it's just different. It's a lot easier to go with buddies to go out and turkey hunt.
Yeah, smack a double.
Yeah, that'd be sweet on camera.
Oh, I know.
Had 3 people out there. One of us should be able to get it on film.
I would
You'd
hope.
be surprised.
Yeah.
Caveman Colton said, "What's up, fellas? What's up, dude?
What's up?
What's up, man?" And then Kyle Ford's Outdoor said, "What part of Missouri you guys in?"
Marshfield, just east of Springfield,
where they got all the hail damage.
Yeah,
that's where
baseball and softball size hail.
Yeah, Brandon's truck's totaled.
Yeah,
and if that's what a totaled truck looks like, bring it on.
Yeah,
I want my totaled. That was awesome. Batman. I didn't know you get that YouTube name. That's pretty cool. That's cool. Good to see you guys. Good to see you too, man. So, dude, what do you got going on this summer? Or are you practicing for some upcoming Kansas season?
Well,
fishing, injured shoulder. What's going on?
Yeah. So I was being a child and fell out of a tree. So got a rotator cuff injury. It's not torn. I probably could shoot my bow, but it puts me in a lot of pain. And I did draw Kansas, so I'm trying to make sure I can actually go and shoot my bow. And so I'm just kind of hanging out, making game plans. I got piece permission here in where I'm at, but just trying to make game plans for that and, trying to get some content and stuff done. But I'm kind of a little bit depressed. I can't shoot my bow.
Have you been cruising eBay for a crossbow now that you have a reason?
No.
No?
Or an excuse?
No. I'm at the point now where I'm like, when July gets here, I'm probably going to start shooting. And if I have to have surgery, I'm going to wait until after deer season. As long as I can get my bow drawn back, then I'm going to figure it out.
Just lower it to like 45 pounds.
In
all honesty, though.
Yeah. If I was, and it's not even my draw arm, but whenever you're pushing into the riser to stabilize yourself, that's when like the pain comes in on that shoulder. It's not drawing. Drawing's fine because you should just be using your draw arm only. But some people like to do the whole like push and pull out.
You should see the comments of Jake at Total Archery Challenge.
It's bad, which I didn't realize how bad it was. And then I was like editing the footage and I was like, my draw looks like a 10-year-old trying to draw back a 90-pound bow.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you got a vein popping out.
I didn't realize
I'm just going to lower it.
I didn't realize they had targets in the trees at Oklahoma Tag.
Might have hit a lot
of uphill shots.
Yeah.
A lot of uphill shots.
Yeah.
That was funny.
It is weird though when you start filming yourself or seeing yourself shoot your bow. You kind of look a little weird. I mean, I gotta fix that. It is strictly just for camera stuff, but that's kind of what we are doing. So we have to And when you do it right, it looks better on camera. Also, you shoot. You really do shoot better.
Yeah, but we're in it for the analytics. Like, if I put my draw and don't cut my draw out, it's like that's for sure going to get a comment.
Oh yeah.
So it's like an analytical standpoint.
Now they just think you're being honest, even though you just don't know how to draw your bow back.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's mind games.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Well, it's funny. It's easy to criticize people online when you see them drawn, but then you're like, well, yeah, all these people that kill in the deer, they probably draw terribly, but you never see a video.
Hunter Williamson, he's like 6'8" or however tall he is. he kind of drew the same way I did. Like he was struggling. If
I-
you were to go through it, he was like, and then like
Jake's trying to
pulling
drag
through.
someone down with
I
him.
am too. I am too. Come under the bus with me.
Well, I mean,
But-
you do see that though. Like these big
And
time,
he was the only reason I say that he was poking fun at me. So
these big time guys you see like doing target shoots and they're just like super crispy clean, and then you see them up in a tree stand and they all don't do the normal draw because we're all kind of like, you know, hunched in trying to, and it's completely different. And I think it's kind of funny. It's like, hey, we're all like normal.
Yeah, you're like me.
so do you have anything lined out on the docket for this upcoming year?
Besides Kansas, I mean, I've got one buck that I shot last year in Missouri and ended up hitting a branch on the ground at like 6 yards. It was very heartbreaking because it was a very cool moment of being that close to him. But thought maybe I had injured him bad enough. I hit him high that he was going to die, and he ended up coming back about a month afterwards, and neighbors found his sheds. So I'm hoping that he kind of shows back up.
Oh, the neighbors did find the sheds?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. I went over and
That's
looked at him.
interesting.
How were they?
Good.
Just as good as
We-
you thought?
Yeah. So here's the thing. He's younger. I mean, I showed you guys the pictures. I haven't really, there's not much out there because I don't want it to be out there, but he's not like a mega giant by any means, but we kind of looked at the pictures a while back. I called you and we're like, how old do you think this deer is? And he's a good
enough.
buck he's going to be old enough this year. Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, he was old enough for me last year because I shot him. It's
Mhm.
just, he was younger than I originally thought he was.
Did they score the sheds?
No.
Did you have an idea when you held them?
Not really, because it was kind of like it wasn't like a weird situation, but I just didn't want to be like he found
Obsessive over
one and then he found the other one like a week later. So the one, and like I said, they weren't as big as they looked, but it's like bladed.
Oh.
It's a very cool buck.
Mhm.
And so hopefully I at least get to see him again. At this point, me and the neighbor are like, one of us just kill him. There's 2 bucks in there and it's like a valley. So these deer move across both properties, back and forth. They don't really pick one to stay on, and there's 2 of them, and they were like, I don't really care who kills it, just as long as one of us kills them this year.
Let's each kill one of
Yeah.
these
End
deer.
of story.
Yeah. And I found one shed of one, and he found the shed of the buck I shot.
Mm.
So I was like, you know what the deal is, right? And he was
If I
like,
kill this deer,
yeah, we have to give each other sheds.
We're
And he's
exchanging.
like, absolutely.
so you got a bargaining tool
Yeah,
with the guy.
that's the only thing I really have going. I've only had 1 year of hunting private, which was last fall, and I had it for the month of November till the end of season,
Mhm.
and so still got a lot to learn.
Oh, dude, we all do.
Yeah,
yeah, we all do.
it's just different because it's weird being able to go in and like set something up and
Mhm.
be able to go to that spot where normally.
Knowing someone's not going in your tree.
Yes, exactly. No, it's like looking at an Onyx. So let's try this little spot. No, I know exactly what it looks like in there.
That's so nice.
It is. It's really nice. And Farmer, he didn't have to do that, but he did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Kyle Ford said, better go enjoy the Ozarks after. I will say, when Jake and I were driving out here, I was like, very pretty drive.
Yeah.
This is a very pretty area.
So this isn't even like the good part of the Ozarks. You guys go like hour and a half east.
Mm-hmm.
It gets way better. Like
Way
you get
better.
you get them a lot of big. That's where Lance is at
out
there in the actual Ozarks, where you get to look up the ridges and like, oh shit, we get to climb up that thing.
Yeah, makes hunting pretty interesting. So Rutten Mini Mount said we can turn the shed into a Euro for you.
That'd be sweet.
Oh yeah. After you kill that buck, kill him twice. Put it on a Euro and then kill shoulder for the next year.
And I was looking at doing something like that, or who's the company that has the you put the sheds, you screw a hole in.
I know what you're talking about.
What is the name?
I
of
don't
the
know.
company?
I look him at Academy all the time.
I don't know.
Oh gosh, it's gonna drive me nuts now.
It's okay.
It's not Rack Hub. I don't know, but I thought about doing that
Mhm.
if I did kill him, taking the shed and putting him up next to the mount.
Yeah, it's like you killed 2 bucks.
Yeah,
That's
pretty
sick.
sweet.
So the Element Wild had a question. They said best broadhead of all time.
That's for you two.
Not me.
I mean, I can tell you how good they fly.
Yeah.
I mean, Magnus and Annihilator and VPA. Like, I didn't know how to tune my bow very well for a while,
Mhm.
and I still was able to get those to fly straight.
Fixed.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. They're all fixed. And once you tune your bow and they fly good, then obviously you can get most anything to fly, as long as your arrow and stuff don't want to get in all that crap.
Yeah.
But you guys have definitely killed more. So
What do you think, Jake? Best broadhead of all time.
I think, or I mean, just from anecdotal experience, I have for expandable. I like the Grim Reaper Whitetail Specials, and then which I think he has a pack of them straight behind you.
You think?
Yeah, we got
He's got everything.
Yeah, he's got
we
about
got a
every
hell of
single
a backdrop here.
Grim Reaper. But then for like fixed and stuff, we've been shooting the VPA, the single bevels. I can't think of the name, but it's like the green one.
It's literally a
Yeah.
single bell as well. It's
Yeah,
called.
okay, yeah.
Premium.
And after tuning the arrow right and all that stuff, and that was from Christian's help, they flew and hit like darts. The only bad side is like what we kind of talked about in that previous podcast is like they would go through and then they would skip off a rock and then you weren't able to find the arrow.
Yeah,
So it's like
too much
one of those
They're
things.
tough though. So I had some VPA 3-blade
Mm-hmm.
and super tough. I just cheap ass and I didn't want to buy a new target. So yeah, you'd send them through the target. And I've got gravel like in my backyard, and those arrows would stick into that gravel, but they were fine. They didn't chip or nothing.
That's good.
And yeah, the only weird thing about VPA is you got to keep them like oiled up
Oh,
because
really?
of the steel. Otherwise, they'll
Oh,
rust
the rust.
if they get wet.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I just take some chapstick and put it on there before I stuck them in my quiver,
There you go.
just to kind of
That's
keep.
actually pretty good.
Lube them up for
Um,
penetration.
Yeah, because I've always got. Yeah, I've always got some on me. You know.
Yeah, I think you got to think about it from a fixed and a mechanical perspective. I've always, and Jake and I've had this conversation, but if I could get a pass through guaranteed every time, I'd go with the 3-blade whitetail special, because it's like when you see the hole when it actually works, it's like you shot a freaking small cantaloupe or a watermelon hole out of them.
Right.
But then another broadhead that's like undeniable in my opinion is either like a 3-blade fixed Muzzy or a 3-blade NAP.
Yeah.
Like
They've
those
been around for a while. Everybody
forever.
shoots them, and
So many deer have been taken by those.
yeah, and probably out of not very good tuned bows.
Yeah, flying
that's
sideways,
true.
getting pass-throughs. Yeah, those are some good broadheads. Lance Brown said
No.
Brandon's gay. Well, yeah, we knew that.
Yeah,
That's a given.
there's actually a coming out video.
Yeah, exactly.
Getting a crossbow.
Yeah, we tried to get him a crossbow at the Bass Pro Outlet today. It wouldn't bite. We even HA was going to buy it for him, and he still didn't do it.
No, can't do it.
Can't be doing it.
No, I don't have my Sitka yet.
I got that in the car too.
Almost got some good
I'm
boots,
sure
though.
you do.
Yeah. The veteran outdoorsman said, I've had a torn rotator cuff in my draw arm for 28 years. Do the same exercises to tighten your shoulder muscles and you'll be fine.
Yeah,
There you go.
That's what I've been doing at the house. I do another appointment Monday. They're going to decide if I need an MRI. And it's like I said, my pain level's gone significantly down. I just don't want to screw it up right before I leave.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to take it easy as possible. And so I'll just have like 3 weeks of like hurrying to get everything ready to go before September gets here.
And that's a good point. I think that's a flip. Is that a thumbs up or a flip off emoji?
I think that's a thumbs up.
Is it a thumbs up?
I think that's a flip off, but cool.
No, I think it's a thumbs up.
Oh,
that
is it?
would be a thumbs up.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
That would.
That could have went one of two ways.
Yeah.
I liked that it went that way. He said the buck in my pick is an Ozark buck. Okay. Oh yeah.
Nice.
So he's been in the
Oh,
lives
nice.
before, and I know that's a nice buck because I can see it from here.
Stick that on me.
And veteran said the best fixed is a tooth of the arrow 4-blade, in my opinion. That's an interesting one. I don't know if did you guys see the Joe Rogan clip where he was talking about tooth of the arrow broadheads?
So
Like
I
shooting 'em at
had
the Cybertruck.
some Tooth of the Arrow
Like 'em?
broadheads. I don't know. I got them when they I think they were first kind of like getting out there. The company was, and they just weren't very tough. Like I again went through my target and got it into my shed, and like the blades just snapped. Which granted, it's not a good test of how tough they are.
That's your durability test.
But
Shoot it in my shed.
I shot muzzies and they were fine. And I mean, so they just weren't super tough, and I couldn't get them to fly the greatest. But that could just be a 4-blade situation.
Yeah. I know they're machined similar to VPA out of like a single piece of steel.
Yeah.
So theoretically, that should be super tough.
Yeah.
But I don't have any experience with Tooth of the Arrow. He said color the edge with a Sharpie to prevent rust. Yeah, I've seen people do that too. Oh, Sarah said LOL. Yeah, thank you, Sarah. Thought that was a flip off, but it wasn't. That's good. So Kyle Ford Outdoors said redheads and Osage bring the swim trunks. What's that mean?
Redheads, man.
In the Osage? I don't get it.
What's the rating on your podcast?
I don't know.
I don't understand it.
It's like saying redheads. Like bring your swim trunks.
I don't get it. So it must be a Midwestern thing. Do you get it, Jake?
No.
We do. We're 48th in education.
Yeah,
We
that
do.
is true. Oklahoma is 48.
We'll
It
just leave it
shows.
at that. I mean, I'm taking it one way, but
You probably understand it.
Yeah.
Stubby said, "What's up, fellas? What's up, Stubby?"
What's up, Stubby?
Um,
You know why I call him Stubby?
why?
Because he's really short and he's.
got a stub?
That's according to him.
Oh,
He's,
okay.
he's
And
that's
it's a
why they gave me
redhead.
the nickname.
Oh,
Yeah.
is that really how he got it?
That's what he told us.
Oh.
He is pretty. I mean, he is kind
A
of short.
swim bar.
Yeah.
Great guest, guys. You won't meet a more humble and honest guy. Oh,
All
thanks,
right,
Lance.
we're gonna report that comment
Yeah.
and kick him.
Deleted.
Mods, get him.
Mods. Yeah. I'm the mod. Stubby said, "My boys right there." Yeah, dude. Yeah.
You guys, I mean, I know you guys obviously like doing the in-person better, but do you think it just, besides like the internet and network stuff, you think it just kind of flow? Which we know each other, so I know it's a little bit different, but I always feel like it's just the conversation kind of does its own thing better in person.
Yeah, there's so much that you miss over like StreamYard or Zoom,
Right?
Because like you make a joke, the internet lags, and like you're like, "Huh?
Yeah,
I didn't catch that," and you're
Yeah.
not gonna like re-hit on a joke
no,
because the guy's like, "Hmm."
Yeah.
We've even had times where we're talking to like people from Canada, and like Jake will make like a little Debbie's reference or something. They're
Or
like,
crackhead.
huh?
And he's like, "What's a crackhead?" And I'm like,
they don't like it doesn't come
nothing.
through. Yeah, it's
That's
just
pretty
more fun.
funny. Yeah, it just it's comfortable. Seems like
It's
it's
a
more
It is,
comfortable.
yeah.
A lot more comfortable. Yeah, I really enjoy the in-person ones. The only bad part is the travel aspect. Like
Yeah.
if we
And
eventually and the
Setup is
setup.
awful.
Yeah, I'd love to eventually have like a studio where you have a place where if somebody's coming through to shoot a tack or somebody's coming on a hunt, it's like stop by.
Well, and it's a lot easier. I mean, this wasn't like a pain in the ass by any means, but we were
No.
trying to find a place to record besides a hotel room,
mm-hmm.
and it's a lot easier to, hey, we're over here, or since you're coming to Missouri now,
Oh right, yeah.
yeah, then hey, we're in Missouri, we're in the middle of the country, just come
Dude,
over here.
Christian's phone starts ringing. It's Lauren. She's like, "What?"
Yeah,
You're moving to Missouri.
you guys should, man. You should do it.
I don't know. You told me the price of a home, and it's really got me thinking.
Yeah, right. I mean, they're high right now.
Yeah,
Make big money over here.
that'd be the cheapest home I've seen in many years.
I
where I'm
thought
at.
Texas stuff. I mean, I guess some parts in Texas are a lot cheaper,
Yeah, not where I'm at.
but you're living with like, John Daly and all them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, all the Libbies.
I think you got a membership to the same golf course.
Oh, dude, I wish. We do play some mean golf. It's like $50 a round.
Oh,
That's high.
I come up to
Do you play
Oklahoma with
golf?
25.
I drink.
okay.
Jake plays whack. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. It'll be like 6th hole. It's like 7th beer, and I'm just like, I'm just going to swing as hard as I can and see what happens.
I've realized after shooting more 3D event, I've never been golfing, but I always make fun of golfing, so you have to know a little bit about it to make fun of it. 3D and golf is
Very similar.
very similar. It
The
is
chirping.
hilarious.
Okay. Lance said, Brandon, has Brandon talked about the buck he is after? He had him at 5 yards on the ground last year.
Yes.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
has.
we did.
Thank you for bringing his heartbreak up
Yeah.
one more time. So describe that buck for everybody. Like you got a lot of trail cam pictures, or a good amount of trail cam pictures of him, and he's like a kind of tall, narrow, racked 8 long G2s.
Yeah.
What was different than what you saw in the pictures versus what was?
He was much tighter. So the neighbor found more sheds from other deer in the years beforehand, and he's hunted it a lot longer than I have, obviously.
Mhm.
And all of those bucks, like you can see it's just changing. They used to be real wide, and like there was like drop tines running through that property for a long time. And then he said like 3 years ago, they all started so he's really tight. He's like a lot tighter in where like you think that if he kept growing and didn't go out anymore, he's probably going to touch
One of the crossers.
Yeah.
Like
it's really weird. And a lot of those bucks are that way out there. But
I like that.
yeah.
High and tight.
They're cool. I mean, I saw there was 3 bucks on that property. One of them was a wide, just kind of slob of a buck.
Mm-hmm.
And he came through like October 15th, or no, it was like October 28th, and he was gone. He was cruising through, made it 300 yards in like 4 minutes. Then he never showed back up again.
Did it give you a false sense of hope for like a little bit?
Well, I was at
one
work
day?
and it goes off. I'm like, man. And then I played the video. I was like, oh, that's a good buck. And then none of us ever saw him again. He was just gone. But
And
it's sad.
was that on private?
yep.
See, Christian and I was talking about this actually on the drive up here, about how was it on the way up here, or was that just a regular phone call about how like people need to move to like in order to shoot a big buck, you got to hunt where the big bucks are, right?
Right.
Because like we talked about the private I can hunt, and it's the difference of only having one good deer to hunt. And, that's basically a unicorn. And it's like most of the time it ends up on the neighbors or something like that. And you see it on Facebook versus you can drive a few hours to public or maybe just a place with a little bit more access. Yeah.
Right.
And you can have much more opportunity.
Yeah. And so this property was really weird for me because, like I said, I got it like the first week in November. So I couldn't really do much. Couldn't go put stands up, and it was just I was hunting it and like walking it at the same time. And so that's why that buck was so close. And I stuck all my cameras in places that I would hang in a tree if I was going to be there.
Yeah.
And that's why I was always like close encounter, and like you had to be just perfect because that's where everything was, and it's all overgrown, and I was like on the ground.
So the property was like a cattle place,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then just native browse, no food plots, no nothing. And Missouri's not a bait state, so you were just going in natural travel.
And I've learned so far since summer's gotten here and I've got cameras up, there's not a lot of deer on it during like up until the rut. I don't know about October, but there's been one like just dink little buck that showed up and a doe, where those same spots last year I had deer moving through there every single day.
That's something you got to learn about the individual properties.
Yeah.
It's like when they're good, because we did, so Peyton shot a buck in December and we have like really good bedding. We thought like, hey, all the pressure of this year will push these bucks back in this really good bedding on this isolated oxbow. And we went and took a thermal drone up after Peyton shot this buck, and we're like, God, there's probably 30 deer in that oxbow. There was one deer and it was the buck that he shot. And I was like, I'm depressed.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to think about that anymore.
It's weird. And that's one thing that's different. I mean, at least around here, public is hammered most of the time. Hard to learn that stuff when you're doing that, just because you're constantly thinking about running into people, finding a spot to climb a tree, driving around because somebody else is at the spot, even though you were there 2 hours early, whatever. That's one thing about this piece of private, even though it's not like the best piece you could ask for, is I was able just to go hunt and just kind of learn.
Free of others, people's intrusion.
Yes. Well, I mean, that same spot I shot him at, I had like 4 or 5 other deer within like 6 yards of me walk through there.
That's awesome.
And it's a weird, like, it makes you feel like just a badass, like caveman. Like it's just really odd. Cause you're like, I could like stick my arrow out and touch this thing right now.
Yeah.
And then when he came in, I was of course like drawn back, but man, I was so upset about that. We had a dog out there, and for a mile and a half, we had blood, just drip, drip, drip. And then he never bedded down that whole time.
You got pictures of him after you shot him too, again, right?
Yep.
And was there a hole? Was it
Couldn't
high?
tell.
Couldn't tell at all.
It was high. I knew it was high. And later in the year, you never know. Like, they've got little tufts all over them, and trail cameras only are so much quality. But I never saw him in person again.
So, are you wanting him to throw some sort of funky side? Do you think that's going to happen, or
I don't know. I mean, it was backstrap, so I don't know. He wasn't hurt enough to where he got like too skinny or anything like that. He was still cruising. I mean, when I saw him again, it was December, and he was behind some yearlings coming through there. Like, he was on their trail and they came through.
It's crazy how quickly they go back to their normal patterns. Because Peyton shot that buck, the one I talked about, where we used the thermal drone, and we were like, man, Peyton, like, we jumped him the next day, next morning, and we're like, man, he's gonna die. Like, because he had a big VPA hole, and it was high. It was a high shot, similar to what you're talking about. We're like, he's gonna die. We'll find his head somewhere. And then literally the morning after we jumped him, so 24 hours after he got shot, he was on camera again.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
Yeah.
That is so silly.
And it's weird. I don't know if it has something to do with, like, obviously we're playing the win as much as possible. Like, if they get shot and they're not hurt that bad and they didn't see you, then maybe that's a little bit different.
Do you think they just they're like, I don't know what that was?
Yeah, I don't know what it was. Or, I mean, he saw me, but he still was 80 yards on. I moved that camera because I'm like, okay, I'm not coming back into this spot. So I grabbed that camera and I just stuck it up in a spot that was just a little like pinch point from bedding to bedding. And that's where he showed back up again. It's like, are you kidding me?
I mean, I'm sure they get stung by like hornets and stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And so that's,
I mean, I think an arrow hurts a little more than the hornet
probably,
does.
but
I see what you're saying.
In their mind, it's like, damn, that hurt. But
yeah,
they don't have a
you know
mirror
what I
to
mean.
be like, how bad was that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And the tracker, this is one thing that's super cool. I've never been behind a dog before. Ever.
Oh yeah.
And we had a lot of blood walking up to where the shot was, and we were finding there's puddles everywhere. It was shooting up on the trees and stuff. And the tracker showed up, and there was some dried dirt on the ground. He took a water bottle and filled up a cap on his water bottle and just dumped it. He's like, that looks like a lot, doesn't it? He's like, you can't even tell how much is out of the bottle. I was like, that's a very good representation of that, because you dump it on dry dirt and it looks like a lot more than what it really is. And that was also it was a little Irish, or not Irish, German short hair.
Yeah, with the like whiskers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super tiny little thing. Like he was putting his nose up underneath the leaves. And I mean, it was super cool to be behind.
When I found my buck in Kansas, I didn't need it. It only went like 80 yards, but he brought a little German short hair.
Yeah.
And like I would lose it in the grass.
Yeah.
It was so little. I was like, where is he? And you just see like his whiskers and you'd be like,
yeah.
And when he got up to the deer, like he'd grab it and be like,
yeah,
like ripping on it. I was like, dude, this guy's got a little attitude on him.
Yeah.
They're
And
cool.
those trackers, they're all about the dogs. It's like, man, I hope my dog gets to see this deer. I hope my dog gets to be up on this deer. And yeah, that was really cool to experience. And Shane Simpson, I called him and asked him for some advice, because he does all the tracking stuff and whatnot. And he's like, yeah, just call a dog, back out.
Is he in Missouri?
No, he's up in Michigan.
Oh, okay.
Actually. Yep.
But he's a dog guy.
Yeah, they actually have an app. I don't know if you want me to say it.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so it's called Tracker. It's TRAKR. And you basically go on there and you find it's like a diagram of where you think you shot. You pick your bow. It says like how many people are you with, how far have you tracked this, how much blood do you see.
Yeah.
And then you submit that, and then trackers in the area who are vetted by Shane and a bunch of other very good dog trackers can come and pick that up.
Yeah.
So they'll pick it up for you, they'll call you, get some more info, and then they show up. So there's the Missouri blood trackers, and I'm sure that
the Oklahoma's Unified Blood Trackers or something.
So there's all of that, but I recommend at least downloading it and just like looking at it, because it's pretty cool, especially if you don't know where you're at.
Yeah.
It's all based off of location, so you can just
That's pretty neat.
yeah, it's pretty freaking cool. And I mean, he was there within an hour.
Yeah, the tracking stuff's really cool. And we talked to a tracker who tracked my uncle's buck down on public. And he was like, where'd you hit it? And he said, yeah, I hit it like 7 inches behind, just basically grade up and down, just back. And the tracker was like, we'll see.
Yeah.
And he was like, what do you mean? He goes, you never hit it where you thought you did. Unless you're filming. He's like, you didn't hit it. Like your eyes cannot perceive what is happening.
And if you did, you wouldn't need a dog.
No.
Exactly. If you hit it where you just described, it's dead.
Yeah.
Right. And we found it, and it was like right in front of the back hip and like that far below the spine. And we were like, now he got him stiff as a board, but we were like, I'm glad we backed out and got a dog.
Yeah.
Very, very glad.
Yeah.
And there's a place for each of them, the thermals and the dogs. They're really cool to watch both work. Sarah said, whack and chase. Yeah, that's how we play golf. We whack and we chase, or we whack and lose. Stubby got on the YouTube. So what's up, fellas? What's up, Stubby again?
Hello.
And he said, it happens, boys. Do it long enough. It's going to happen. Yes, it's happened to me multiple times in 1 year, and I wanted to sell my stuff. So I totally
You
understand.
just want to quit, man.
Dude.
It's like, I'm going to be, I'm going to go back to shooting a rifle.
Yeah. Yeah. And I haven't shot one long enough in a long time, so I'm probably not even going to be good at that. Yeah, there was 1 year where I shot like 3 that I didn't find. There was one
2020.
weekend. Yeah, I still killed 4 bucks that year, but there was one weekend where I shot a 130 and I went down to public and shot a 123. And I only know this because we found the sheds off one and the dead head of the other one. And I was like driving home after shooting 250 inches of buck and not finding either of them. I was like,
yeah, I'm going to find a tree.
yeah, that semi looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
That
considering
oak, 50-year-old oak.
about
Yeah,
to
I
wrap
think
this
it'll-
bad boy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's awful.
It was terrible. Midwest Papoot said, hey, sexy fellas. And Lance said, that's one of the reasons I enjoy hunting with Brandon. He hunts deer, not just properties.
Can you read that?
Not really.
Dude, I can't either. I'm just like being
I have
led to.
2010.
Really?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I know.
I even have contacts.
Whether he has to be 20 foot high or 5 yards on the ground, he's willing to do what he needs to kill. Dude.
Thank you, Lance.
What a man.
I
He's a man.
appreciate that.
man.
He
He's
is.
a good friend.
Me and him have hunted, like I say a lot, not to be compared to somebody. I met him last year in person, and then we went out and hunted. We've like spot and stalk together, went up, hung in a tree together. I mean, we've done a ton of hunting together, and so it helps having somebody who's a little bit same track minded as you.
Yeah, me and Jake have had some of our best conversations seeing no deer
Yeah.
in the tree.
Yeah.
It's funny because the level of conversation starts like, And then by about 3 hours in, see nothing. You're like, yeah, I really just don't know why we. It's kind of how it works. Caveman Colton said, I was hog hunting while watching y'all's live, and my little cousin just smoked a pig.
Hell yeah.
Yee. Dude, we're good luck.
We are. We should just move to Missouri.
You want to kill something? Watch us.
Yeah, you got to move to Missouri so we can do this in person. Jake,
So
you got to move too.
I need to do it. We need to do a podcast with Colton because he's like an hour and a half from my house.
Oh, really?
Mhm. Yeah.
Dang.
He's
You let him try your saddle too. He wants to try a saddle.
Does he?
Yes.
Shoot, I'll give him my saddle. No worries.
He'll take you up on that.
I'm just kidding. Yeah. I can't afford another one.
Yeah.
Stubby said,
Your brother's watching right now, like, what the hell? I need one.
I give them a lot of stuff too. They said there was a lot of trial and error when I first started bow hunting. Let me know when it ends because I'm still in it 15 years later on the trial and error aspect of it.
At the Hunter's Advantage, we live by the KISS slogan.
You were not supposed to tell them that.
No, I meant we like to keep it simple, stupid. All jokes aside, Exodus is the definition of keeping it simple. Let's say you aren't really sure what arrow setup you should run. The Exodus Arrow Builder will help you build the right arrows for your exact setup.
Or if you don't have time to change those trail cam batteries in the dog days of summer, Exodus has a great selection of cell cameras and regular trail cameras. And if you pair them with one of their solar panels, you'll be set for a long while. I've shot over a dozen deer and a big old black bear in Saskatchewan with these arrows, and I trust them to fly right and get the job done. And they have something for everyone with the Exodus NIS micro diameter arrows or the Exodus MMTs.
So if you want to save money on Exodus arrows, cell cameras, or anything else they got on their website, make sure to check out ExodusOutdoorGear.com and use code HA10 for 10% off.
Once again, that's ExodusOutdoorGear.com, and make sure to use code HA10 for 10% off at checkout. Now let's get back to the podcast.
We were talking about that today with the Black Widow guys. It's like the trial and error never ends because like you're with a compound trial and error. And it's like then when you master that, which I feel like is never
Right.
Then you move on to trad, and they're like, yeah, I miss more stuff than I shoot. And then I watch Miles shoot, and I'm like, what am I gonna be like? Because you're a good shot. I'm terrible.
Yeah. I don't think anybody, I almost said you get bored with the compound, and maybe some people do, but I just think it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like
what would it take for you to just put down the compound? Like how many big deer would you have to go through to just say, okay, I'm done with the compound. I'm only hunting strictly traditional.
So right now, honestly, if I kill a buck with my compound, I'm going to try a recurve, but I'm
strictly?
No, not all the time. But so like, for example, if I kill a buck with my compound this year, because I'm still trying to do that, then I would get one next year and shoot with it all summer and go back out and try to hunt with it.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Like
and
as the priority weapon, like the weapon number one?
Yes. Yep. And if I kill one with it, I might go back to the compound. But I mean, everybody I've talked to, I mean, you killed 2 with your recurve last year.
I killed 1.
You killed 1. Okay.
Yep.
And I mean, you were like, this is fun.
It was really fun.
Yeah. It's really fun. It makes you just, again, makes you feel like
a man.
Yeah. I mean, really, like I've shot not real recurves before, but it feels just way different.
Dude, you're walking to the stand, you're like, I forgot my bow. And it's like, you realize it's on your neck because it's like this, you could just throw it up in the air. It's so light.
Yeah.
Freaking awesome.
Just feel great.
Yeah. Me and Jake were having that conversation today in the car. It's like, what would it take to give up your compound? And I said, I would have to have already shot to fully give it up, like 10 140 pluses for me to be like, I'd have to have a wall that when all the beaten into the dirt I got from the trad, I'd walk in and be like, okay, I can kill a deer.
Right.
Not with this.
I don't know, man. It's not, I don't think there's like a number for it for me. Everything that I do hunting is always just like, I'm going to try that.
Yeah.
Or I just have this feeling of wanting to go do it, and not social media based even, because I don't really watch a whole lot of like hunting content anymore, especially on YouTube and stuff. But you just hear about something, and you're like, man, this would be really cool. Like the spot and stalking stuff. I feel like if you spot and stalk with a compound and you get within 20 yards, it'd be a hell of a lot cooler if you did it with a recurve.
One of the best spot and stalks I think I've ever seen was Brandon Quant's video. You know who Brandon Quant is?
Yes.
Hiding behind that decoy.
That made like I got chills watching that clip.
That will hype anybody up.
Yeah. Holy cow. That was
especially
so
since
sweet.
it was a mega giant too.
Yeah.
I was like,
And he seemed like, I mean, he was always like worked up, but he was very cool compared to what I would have been. I would have been looking back and I'm like, is he there? Just sitting there freaking out. He was cool about it. It was
Is he down? Is he down?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he destroyed
That video somehow popped back up on my feed recently.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah, I think he reposted it like, "Who's ready for this?" or something. I'm like, "Me, I'm ready." Because on the TikTok he has to cut it off before the kill shot, but on Instagram it's like slides right through. That's awesome. That's something I really want to do this year. Like you shot one on the ground. I think I've shot 2 on the ground with a bow. It's so fun.
It's different.
Does a blind count?
No.
No,
No. Now, if it's natural, you put like some trees up and
not
stuff.
natural.
Yeah. But I've said this on other podcasts and talking with people multiple times, but I could see that buck snot at his nose when he came right there.
So did you hear him like he's approaching and you're like ready to draw? Because one of the things on the ground is like, when do you draw when a deer's that close?
No. It was all like within 2 seconds. So I was sitting on the ground on those little like cheap tripod chairs that always sink into one side, and so you can keep yourself up. Had my bow sitting in front. I had my hand on my bow because it was about that time, like mid morning. And I look up and I just see tines at like 20 yards over these bushes. And so I pick up my bow like super fast. I'm like, either this is going to work or it's not going to work.
Yeah.
And I drew back and he didn't see me draw, even though he was right in the line of sight with me. And I'm kind of sitting there following him and he stops and his vitals are covered by a tree. And I don't want to shoot him too far back because I was like, okay, make sure this is perfect. I'm at 6 yards, literally 6 yards. And he kind of moves. And then he sees me kind of moving with him. Like his eyes line up, I guess. I don't know. And then he jumps back and gets about 15. And then that's when I adjust and he's quartering away. And I put it far back. And then he started running off. And of course, I'm like watching him. And then as I'm watching him, the tree comes back into focus on my eyes.
You're like, oh, nice.
And then I can see the branch just kind of going up and down.
Oh, as he's like
yes.
the reverbing.
Yes. And so I think what happened too is I think the knock, I was going to light a knock, and that will make your eyes do weird things too.
Oh, yeah.
So I thought it was not a whole lot lower. I knew as soon as I hit him, it was high, but it had to have been way higher than what I saw with my eyes.
Like maybe the angle was like
maybe
that.
It was pitched up, or the knock looked like it was in a different spot, or it could have been nerves. Like we never know. And I wasn't filming that day, of course.
Yeah,
but
that's how it goes.
Yeah, it was cool though.
Yeah,
it's just
on
different.
The one time I've ever like actually tried to sit on the ground and make it happen, I was on private, and it was like 2 years ago. I had like a mid 120s, like 10 point, and we got him on camera. And on private, I try to be a little bit more management minded. And I was texting Christian and Peyton. I was like, "Hey, how big do you think this deer is? Like shooter? No." And Christian was like, "Give it one more year." Well, I'm like, maybe
he had insane genetics.
Yeah, he did.
Like 6-inch eye guards as like a 3-year-old. I was like, yeah, he's gonna be
dang.
Yeah, but he was just right there. We're just like, he might look bigger in person, in person. But he was like, but Christian kept telling me, he said, make the decision before you go in, because if you see him and then try to make that decision, it's obviously not, you're going to shoot it 10 times out of 10. Well, I seen him from one stand, like in some thick brush on like I don't know, 50 yards into this timber, and he never would come my way, but he was with him and like a little dink and then like 3 or 4 does, and they just worked the same path every single day or every evening. And so when we had the right wind, I tried to sneak in on the other side to try to cut him off, just to, again, look at him closer, probably shoot him. And
probably shoot him.
Yeah.
But I was on the ground. I should have shot him.
Exactly. I put the stand on my back and I go in there, and all it is just like immature timber, basically. And I looked around in there for an hour and a half trying to find a place to hang it. And this is before the saddle game took over, or at least for me. And so I knew every single evening he was coming out at 3:30. So it was like 3:15, and I was like scrambling. I'm like, F it, I'm not going to have time to set up. And so I sit like on this log, and I have this shoulder expecting him to come from this way, which they did, leaned up on a tree, like trying to cover this half of my body, but the tree wasn't as big as round as I am. Yeah. And so I'm just sitting on the ground, 3:30 comes, and I see, like, through all the thick stuff, I see just movement. You know, I see the does, they kind of start filtering through. They're like 45 yards still walking, but I guess there was something in the field that spooked them. I don't know what it was. Might have been my grandma. I have no clue. But
walnuts or acorns or something.
It's pecans.
Pecans,
right?
sorry.
Thank you. So yeah, they start like kind of, they don't run off, but they start walking off in the other direction the way they came. So I had my grunt tube, and I was like, you know, playing the skin flute on it. And
first chair.
Yeah, exactly. I had to beat out Cindy. So I'm grunting, and all of a sudden I pull up my binos, and I see him still whites of the tails. They're not like flagged or anything. I just see him walking away. And I'm like, well, damn it, that sucks. Maybe they'll, it's only 3:30. Maybe they'll come circle back around or something. And I hear like walking to my left around this side of the tree. And I kind of peek, and I had one other good buck that was like 20 inches bigger than that one.
Probably close to 150 incher.
Yeah. We thought he was around 145, something like that. Yeah. And he comes walking, and he gets like 15 yards from me, like checking out whatever the heck was talking crap. And he gets 15 yards. He's completely broadside. And he's just kind of looking. And of course, my arrow tips just rattling in there. And I'm waiting on him to like cross, because I have my camera, but my camera's pointed this way because I thought that's where they were going to come from. And so he was already right here, like 15 yards from me. And I'm sitting on the ground behind a tree that's not even bigger around than I am. And all of a sudden he like looks at me, and I go to draw back, and he just kind of wheels around, runs about 50 yards, and he's completely like backside to me. And I'm sitting there ranged him. I'm like, okay, 55, 65. And I'm getting ready to draw back in case he starts going broadside. Well, he doesn't. Circles back around, and I'm like, that sucks. And I'm like, well, maybe he's trying to win me because the wind's blowing this way. And sure enough, I don't know why I thought that. I was just thinking, and I look over, and he's staring at me at about 65 yards at the edge of the tree line, like, what the hell are you? And long story short, don't end up killing that deer. But since then, I don't think I've ever sat on the ground.
Man, I don't know. See, it's just cooler. Like if that happened to me, I'd be like, man, I want to try to kill him now.
Right.
I tried.
Yeah.
But
I had one on that same piece of permission. There's just like this long field, again, kind of young timber. And the only good timber is like leaning so hard you can't even get into it. And I just sat in this little ditch that had a hole dug out, like that a groundhog had dug out. And I just beat the horns together. And this just a giant forked horn. I mean, he was big. He was really young, but he came out like that. He just came running, barreling, and he's snorting wheeze at me. And I was like, holy crap. And so I'm just sitting there watching him, and he, of course, catches me, and it just got your blood pumping, even if it's a small one. I wasn't going to kill him, but it was just everything just happened. Like everything you want to see. Grunting, him come running in, snort wheeze. It was amazing.
I killed one in Kansas on the ground, a 60 incher behind a pile of rocks, and I snort wheezed one in my mouth, and I just heard it like, because 3 bucks had passed me like a 130, a 110, and then a dink. But there had been a 160 on this private right next to the weehaw. And so I was like, and I was like, that ain't going to work. Like with my mouth. And I just hear, and I was like, ooh. And I hit him with him again. And I was like, well, I'll pack up. I haven't seen anything. And I look, and there's one circling downwind of me. I was like, it's got horns. And so I shot it, and I came back the next day. I was like, all right. That's what I did.
But it was fun.
But it was awesome. It was on the
super
ground.
Cool.
Yeah. I love it.
I mean, that's one of those things where I'll try to do that I always hunted the rut, but I've never been like that aggressive. And so I've even this year, like I'll stand up and like grab the leaves and move them around and make it rattle in the middle of the field and then run back to the tree. Oh man.
Well, how you get it done is just as important on how big the deer is. Right. Like I shoot, if a 115-inch deer came in doing something disgusting on public, I'd be like, you're
getting it.
Yeah, no doubt. Stubby said, I want to try and get one with my old whitetail too. It's what I took my first deer with a bow with. Would love to relive that moment with that bow. Whitetail 2, what brand is that? Is that a bear?
I think it's a bear.
I think it came after the whitetail one.
I think you're right.
I got an old bear, black bear.
Really?
Yeah, it's in the house.
Is that a compound or a recurve?
It's a compound
with
like wheels like that.
Yeah, it looks like an Oreo for a cam.
It's pretty sweet though.
I think my uncle has a whitetail special or something like that. I said, took my first Ohio public land buck off the ground last year. Yeah, I mean, that gets me going like nothing other.
Super sweet
on the ground. And it's cool because like you want to talk about mobility. There's nothing more mobile than Lamborghinis.
Yeah.
Like no saddle, no sticks, no nothing, just walking. And I always thought and we met with several biologists, I always thought deer vision was a lot better than it was. It's only like 20/60. They're really good at perceiving movement, but their depth perception and their sharpness of vision sucks.
Yeah.
You can kill them on the ground.
Yeah.
That makes you want to shoot a giant off the ground.
I mean, we're going to Kansas this year.
You're going to kill one off the ground?
I really hope we do. I mean, I already told me and Lance are going together. I told him, I was like, unless we have like patterned one within a couple of days where we can get up into a tree and like it's a big one, then I've already decided we're going to be on the ground most of the time.
Why not?
Yeah. He's really dedicated to ground hunting now. I kind of make fun of him a little bit just because he's my buddy, so I can make fun of him.
Yeah, he's a
Like,
great
he sold all of his stuff. Like he's full on like
well, he has
ground.
to be on the ground
Yeah.
now.
Dang. I wouldn't go that far, but it does make sense to be more movement minded, especially when you're hunting like out of state or something, because you only have a certain amount of time to get it done. So like,
Yep.
why not get in the chili?
Yeah. Man, I took my wife. My wife hunts. She has hunted in the past, but she kind of got away from it. Just life gets crazy and stuff. And we went back out during rifle. I had my bow. She had her rifle, and we got up into a tree that her dad had put up.
Mhm.
And I'm
Her,
like,
her
this-
dad put up a tree?
or
That's
a
sick.
tree stand. Sorry, tree stand. Sorry.
That's your hunting tree, baby
Yeah.
girl.
And it was just a ladder stand. I was like, man, I just don't think they're gonna come moving through here. It's like let's just get down. Let's just walk a little bit. Let's go down to the bottom and we'll sit down. And we got down there. It's like a field that connects to this bottom right here, and there's deer out there. So we start walking extra quiet. We get over there and we get sat down, and they didn't wind us. Something else spooked them out in the field, and they came running directly towards us. And she shot a doe at, it was, I mean, not kidding, probably 10, 15 yards.
Mm.
I mean, we were right there, just wide open,
I
just
love
sitting
that.
right there. And shot her, and she just stood there and just took it like a champ. And then she walked about 2 more yards, and I was like, shit, shoot her again. Shot her again, and she walked like 3 more yards and fell over. But we were on the ground, and she looked at me, she's like, that's a lot more fun.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, like being able to move and like actually like, I don't know, I don't want to sound weird about it, but hunt the land.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Well, it's like you hear a lot about the Midwestern like people growing deer.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I believe in that. Like if you want to grow a really mature buck and get him on only stand on your property, like yeah, freedom of human intrusion is really
Right.
important. But I feel like if you're on public or you're on a limited time span, the aggressiveness, it's like that's what makes it fun.
And I think your terrain is, I mean,
Yeah.
you get up north, even like northern Missouri, it's really flat, and there's crop almost everywhere.
Mhm.
A little bit different trying to spot and stalk there, but I mean, you guys saw driving here, lots
Yeah.
of hills everywhere. That seems like a lot more entertaining.
Yeah.
And you can make it work by playing the terrain and going around it, and so it makes a difference. Some people can do it in their spot more than some people can in
Yeah.
other spots. I mean, that's how I view it. It's just different. I mean, I'm not went a lot of other places to hunt, but
Right. Yeah. The more deer that I've killed, the more that I'm like, sitting here over a corned beater waiting for one to show up is not my cup
Yeah.
of tea anymore. And it was like when you haven't killed one, you're like, I'll kill him. I don't care. I don't care if you want to tie him. I'll shoot him up. I'll shoot him
Right.
right there. But the more you get into it, the more it's like, I want something. The adrenaline is what I'm seeking.
yeah, and you can get that. I mean, I do still in a tree.
100%.
You get up into a tree you've never been into before, and you're sitting there, and it's that perfect time, and you just hear, I mean,
What's that like? We don't hear this.
oh man, I heard it from 2 bucks this year, and one of them I thought he was a mega giant the way he was acting,
Mm-hmm.
and he came. I mean, it was like a jury video. I mean, it was crazy. He came barreling out of this overgrown grass,
Mm.
and I just saw the grass parting before I could see him. Like, this dude's gonna be a giant, and
200-inch
he,
deer?
he popped out. He's just like a little 90, 100-inch buck, but he was giving all those does in that field a run around. It was so funny. But he was doing everything you want him to do.
Mhm.
Everything.
Yeah. So what is that like? I mean, you obviously grew up hunting Ozark stuff,
Mhm.
right? So what's kind of the juxtaposition between hunting Ozarks versus kind of going to Kansas? Like, what's the draw of going somewhere like that versus where you grew up hunting?
I mean, honestly, the
You can say
deer are bigger. I mean, where I'm at in Missouri, I mean, how many cornfields you guys see on the way over here?
Oh, dude, none.
At least
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah, I mean, there's one up the road. That's
Mhm.
it. And then business has one. But you go to Kansas, you see those things everywhere.
They got
Right.
bean
So-
fields on public land.
It's, and I'm not a biologist, I'm not a professional in any way, but deer are smaller down here.
Yeah.
They are smaller, and even Missouri, you go north an hour and a half, you start hitting crop and they get bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And hunting the hills, it's different. It's a lot of hunting in the trees. You're kind of hunting more of like, the bedding, and you're hunting more of the rut. It's, to me, hunting the rut, playing that terrain is a lot of fun because you don't see them until they're there.
Yeah.
You have to know kind of what's going on. But Kansas, it's just something different and
Mhm.
bigger deer. Yeah. And it just seems like it's gonna be fun. And I went with Lance to go scout and stuff, and I don't know, just the different state, my first out of state hunt.
Mm-hmm.
So being in a different state, having different terrain to hunt, and just different deer,
Yeah.
I think it's going to be
We
super cool.
were kind of in awe the first 20 minutes that
Yeah.
we were there, because it's like we sat in this public land spot and it has standing beans on it, and we sat there for 3 hours and we seen 17 deer a piece or something like that.
Yeah, but
something stupid.
There's also another side to that, because when I first went with him to go scout, because I didn't even put in last year, I was like, holy shit, dude, there's corn and beans everywhere. And we don't have this anywhere. There's going to be deer all over these. And that weekend we saw maybe 5 or 6 deer. So it's also one of those things. I don't think just going there and you having corn and beans is going to help you kill a deer.
No, it's not the limited resource.
But it's just a different way to hunt.
Yeah.
That it's everywhere. If there's a cornfield around here, the deer are all going to be over there.
It's also nice to be able to look more than 75 yards and actually see deer. Okay, they're not coming out over here. They're coming out over there in the evenings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can actually glass them up and see what they're doing and watch them.
That's really fun. I mean, what do you like? So in the Ozark stuff, you're hunting primarily like funnels or pinch points, and then like acorns and native browse. That's pretty much it, right?
And yeah, unless you plant something, which
do many people do that around here?
Some people do. That neighboring property, they do food plots and just kind of winter plots. And I think that's what I'm going to do on this. This farmer, I found a dime a dozen. Like, it was crazy. He's like, yeah, you can plant whatever you want. I'm like, I'll lease the land off of you. He's like, no, you can plant whatever you want.
I ain't putting it riding.
Yeah. And so I just going to have just a few little, just like, I guess you call them kill plots, just a couple of them. But there's just not much for them they're going to be at the food in late season. So the people that do plant, they're definitely going to be over there more.
Yeah.
And now on the property that I can hunt, there's a lot of bedding, which makes it difficult to kind of get in sometimes. Sure. But a lot of the deer bed on this side. So I think the last 2 years, me hunting more, it's been a lot of hunting the bedding and being in between water or food and that bedding in those pinch points.
Well, it's funny to hunt. You hear people talk about a bed to food pattern. It's like a bed to bed pattern. It's like they sleep here, but they move over here and sleep here too.
And that's how this property is. And it's like, my head, it's what they're doing mid morning. They're not coming back from the field or anything like that. And there's bedding right there and there's bedding down here. And he's coming with the wind in his nose to this bedding, or he was checking, learn about thermals and whatnot. But the route he came, he was pulling thermals up the bottom where there's more bedding at. He was getting wind in his face from where this bedding's at, and he was able to see where I was standing. And he just has everything to him.
Yeah, except his eyesight.
Yeah, because he didn't see me draw, I guess. That one little bush actually saved me in getting my bow drawn back. I just wish it would have worked out, but live and you learn.
That's part of it. When we were driving up here, Jake was like, man, he's like, we were talking about the deer that we haven't killed.
Yeah.
And we were like, what would our walls look like? And Jake, he counted 5 over 140, 6 over 140 that he's like, I should have every single one of those on the wall. And I was like, yeah. What would your wall look like? I was like, it'd be overwhelming if you came in. You'd be like, I'm so successful.
Yeah, I would be in debt.
It would be so much fun. Yeah. I always think about that too. It's like, dang it, that one from 7 years ago when I was rifle hunting, looked like a giant, and I missed him because I was 12 years old.
Yeah. I've had so many of those mega giants over the years, and then I think back to what they actually were, and I was like, yeah, that was a nice one. But it wasn't like, at the time I was like, that's a 160-inch deer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that was a 110.
Yeah.
But I still wanted to kill it.
Yeah, but are you just doing that to make yourself feel better about
Maybe. It's reverse psychology.
I think it could be both ways.
It could be
first, you're like, man, he was a giant. And sometimes it stays that way. Like, yeah, it was a big, we all film now, so we can kind of prove it a little bit.
Trail cam photos.
Yes. Even just walking around with a camera, and that's how I'm like, yeah, no, it wasn't. I'm like, no, dude, look, it's a big buck.
Yeah.
And,
so how do you like filming all your stuff?
I love it, but it is very difficult doing by yourself.
Taxing.
It is. I regretted not doing it more this past fall because of everything that happened. But honestly, it's kind of a hassle bringing stuff out.
I know. See all the crap we got set up just for one podcast.
Exactly. But then when you don't do it, every single time you don't do it, you're like, dang it.
That's when the big one comes out.
Yeah. Oh, we had a 170+ inch deer in full velvet on public that we walked up on, completely bedded down, and it was the one time we did.
It was
not
the very
bring the
last
camera.
little loop we were going to make, and we didn't bring binos. Binos.
There was 3 velvet bucks that were like like a 130, probably a 140, and a 170. And I was like, of course. So I pulled out my phone, went to like 14 times zoom, and you just see him like running off. I was like, dude, come on.
And especially when you have cameras, the phone just doesn't work anymore. It's different. And everybody that I hunt with, especially me and Lance is big into videography and is really good at it. He did the same thing I did. We kind of just, I'm gonna leave the camera at home today. And we made each other, I mean, it's like a written contract. No matter what we're doing, we're bringing a camera with us. No matter what it is, even if it's whatever, we're going to bring one with us. We just don't know what's going to happen.
Well, it just sucks because like you're on day 3 or 4 on hunting a spot, and it's like, I'm not even going to set it up today. I'm just going to take the morning off, leave it in my bag, or have it delayed. It's like, I'll get it out here in a little bit whenever I reach for that little Debbie. Yeah. And it's like, okay, wait, he actually came in 5 minutes after daylight.
Yeah. And you're looking for an excuse too. It's like, I'll get it out here in a second. It's like, oh, no, I'm going to be too loud if I get it out right now. It's like, well, I'm getting ready to pack up anyway, so I might as well just wait. And
every time.
I've told myself, and of course it might change, but I'm going to just bring it and set it up as soon as I get out there.
Yeah.
I've got a camera arm. We've got tripods. You have everything to set it up. Just set it up.
It was in 2022. We were hunting a piece of public where we usually go on vacation or vacation. And it was like it was the very last day we were there. It was like the very last morning sit. And then I think we were thinking about hunting that evening, but everybody was just tired. Like it was the end of the week. Everybody's running on like 6 Red Bulls, and that was just for breakfast.
Yeah.
And
I've had 6 in a day.
Me and Carol, me and Carol pull up to this spot, and he's just going to walk like 250 yards past my spot along the same ridge. And I get about halfway to the spot, which ain't a super long walk, maybe like a 15-minute walk from the truck. And I'm like, I don't have my release. And I was like, oh my God. So I walk back to the truck, and when I grabbed my release, I was like, I didn't even have my bino harness on me either, like which has my rangefinder and all that stuff. So I was like, I'm losing it today. So by the time I get back to my tree, it's already gray light, and I get my 3rd stick up on there, and I reach for my platform. It immediately falls. Like as I'm reaching for it, like boom, smokes off of a big rock, ding, and it's pitch quiet. About 6 yards away, I hear, and I'm like, are you? I was
great start to the day.
Horrible. I was steaming. And I get set up, and I'm like, I'm not going to see a dang thing now. Like, that was my shot. That was the doe or whatever. And I just kind of sit there. I'm just going to take a 15-minute breather. Like, of course, it's already light at this point when I finally get set up. And sure enough, I just kind of look to my right, and I see a buck. And I'm like, of course. Like, here we go. It's like, screw the camera. I need this deer. And it walks perfectly. I mean, it wasn't huge. It was maybe 115, 120-inch buck. But on day 5, that might as well have been a 160.
Yeah.
And it walks by, and of course I don't range it or anything, or no, I try to range it, but I'm so in shambles, like I am shaking like it is a 160-inch buck, and I range it, and I'm like, okay, I couldn't stay on it. It was going from like 35 to 42, and I'm like, I don't know what it is. Long story short, it was I was ranging the tree behind it. This is just what at least I tell myself. It was actually at 25 yards. I shot it for 35 yards, and I know I punched the trigger and pulled it at the same time. So it just skidded over its back. I seen it skip off of a rock, and I literally seen sparks come off the rock, and I was like, Jesus Christ. And it runs off to 90 and just starts walking away. And in my mind for a split second, I was like, it's at 92. And I was like, I can't do this. But yeah.
So you dropping your stuff this last year, I climbed up one tree. It was leaning so bad when I got up there, when I started like practicing my draws, I would like be falling.
Yeah, you're like, meow, around the tree.
Oh gosh. So I get down, and I just kind of throw stuff in my bag. There's no point in snatching it all up and whatnot. And I get down about halfway, and my brand new camera arm, brand new 4th arrow camera arm falls, and it's ding, 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 hits all my sticks on the way down. Of course. Like, are you kidding me? So I get down, pick it up, put it in my pack, climb the next tree up, start getting up, and then I look over, and my platform is hanging in the tree. I never took it down when I was trying to climb down.
So you took all your sticks down and it was still up there?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So I just like, screw it. I just put my tether up and just like stood on my top stick for like an hour because it was hurting my feet pretty bad. And then I finally got down and grabbed my platform. But just everything just did not work out right.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
A decent amount of the time. So Stubby said, I was hunting and scouting just set up on a fresh scrape. That's what he was talking about shooting his Ohio public buck. And he said, tons of terrain here in West Virginia and Southern Ohio. I hunt mostly point and the first bench off of the ridges. Yeah, West Virginia's got some.
I got some hills.
Yeah, Southern Ohio, I guess,
Mountains.
too. Some real mountains.
Yeah, North Carolina's got
hollers.
some too.
Some
we got
hollers.
hollers here.
Some hollers.
Yeah.
I heard Miles say that day. A holler.
Holler. There's a holler at the bottom. Ridge.
Creek
Point.
or a creek?
It's a creek down
Okay.
here.
Acorn?
It's Acorn.
Oh my god.
Acorn. Acorn.
I've grown up saying both, so sometimes depends on who I'm talking to. If I'm
Mhm.
talking hunting, it's Acorn
Mm.
There you
because I
go.
get going and
You get street cred. with
yeah.
people you
No,
leave
no,
around.
no. It's just like it kind of just comes out more.
He's eating acorns.
Yeah. If I'm talking to somebody like oh acorns, just
Mhm.
sounds weird to me.
That's fair. It's like coyote.
It's coyote.
I know.
But when I read coyote, for some reason I always want to say coyote.
Coyote.
It's weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just an odd duck, I guess.
Lance, I think he scooted out, but he had said saddle/stand hunting still has its advantages. I just truly enjoy adrenaline at eye-to-eye level. Yeah, that's like kind of giving the deer the best chance to get away too. It's like if I kill you like this, I deserve it.
Yeah.
On the ground. And he said clear cuts are key for me in the Ozark public. Yeah. Do you hunt a lot of clear cuts?
I really didn't. We
Party
I
foul.
kind of made fun of Lance like on this too. He'll do something and he'll just be like dead set on it, and I just like making fun of him for it. But he had very good deer showing up in clear cuts, and I mean a little bit, but clear cuts can be one thing. Like it's like thick timber, and then there's like an actual clear cut, and in my eyes anyway. And then you can also have like transition spots that aren't as like visually a clear cut, but I guess you can call
like a select cut.
yeah,
Yeah, like there's still some standing.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've always called that like a transition. You have like thick
Yeah.
timber, and then it goes in, and then it gets out into the open, but they're still kind of mixing through there.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I mean I hunt some of those, and I mean on that piece of permission I have, it's a lot of that bedding all around and thick stuff all around, and I'm set up in where the clear spot is.
Yeah.
So
Do you ever pay attention to like the year to year on the select cuts or clear cuts that you hunt? Like
I've not hunted properties enough and
Mhm.
been back to the same properties to know anything about that.
Because what we hunt a lot of is select cuts. Like we don't have
Right.
a lot of true clear cuts, like
Mhm.
where it's like decimated, and you're like, I can see 900 yards over there.
Yeah.
We have a lot of selects, so it's like they come in, they take the pine, they leave the good oaks,
Yep.
and then
And like from year 1 to like 3,
it's awesome.
it's
Because they leave
beautiful.
all the good like
Yeah.
hanging trees, like good oaks, and
And
like
plus the new stuff's growing up.
Yeah.
Okay, so then maybe where we hunt down where he's at, there is a lot of burning that goes on.
Yeah.
So they just don't do a whole lot of cutting. If they do cutting, it's usually they cut a lot of it out,
yeah,
and we just don't.
like a true clear cut.
Yeah, I just don't hunt a lot of those. I'd say we're probably going to moors from what he saw hunting more of down
Mhm.
there. But you can see, and I think of it more for turkeys in my head. Like you can see where they would burn this spot.
Yeah.
And this is like a year burn. This is 2. This is 3.
Sure.
And you see a little bit of that. But as far as clear cuts go, I haven't done a whole lot of it. But after what
That's
he
right.
had this year,
Leave those for us. We'll come
yeah.
on.
Is that Martin?
Yeah, Martin St. Martin II. This is one of our loyal live guys. We love the name. He has the record for the longest name in the live. I'm back, boys. Quick question for you. If you had to pick the rest of your life, meaning are you doing morning? Man, I can't see now.
48?
Morning or afternoon sits for whitetails? Me and Jake kind of go back and forth on this and have very different opinions. I want to hear your opinion before you get swayed by.
Afternoon.
Oh, so you're wrong.
Let's go.
Why?
Why?
Afternoon. I mean, if it's like strictly like afternoon, if it's 12:01 and I can be in a tree,
Yeah, it's the
Yeah, it's
okay.
usually hot then though.
But-
So
but if you're only out there and it's cool, you don't know what you're missing.
that's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
I don't know. I've just had like all of my encounter, except for that one buck I shot that was mid morning.
Okay.
But most of my deer encounters have been in the evening.
Do you think it's because the evening has finality to it? Do you like that aspect of the evening? Like
I think
it's
so.
fever pitching up and then it's like
Yeah,
abrupt end.
But I also love getting out when it's dark and everything lightens up in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
I
Can't have
love
both.
that too. I know, but
Yeah.
I mean, if
The
I had to
earth
pick one,
wakes
it'd be
up.
evening.
The
In the
evening.
evening, I see more bucks in the evening time
Hmm.
than
Mhm.
I have in the morning. it's also me, Christian.
That's true.
So
These Ozark deer are different.
yeah, I'm just saying it's me. Deer everywhere.
Yeah,
It's me saying this. So
Yeah.
take it with a grain of salt.
that's fair.
I
Jake,
mean,
what do you?
I
like the
agree.
evenings?
The reason I like evenings is because when you walk in, you can like, I'm big on like not wanting to walk in and bust something if I have the opportunity to like step over that stick that I can see.
Yeah.
Because Christian kind of got me on the thing of not wearing a spotlight basically in to go hang your set in the morning, you know, kind of do it without a light and all that good stuff. So with that being said, like I'll stumble on a stick and I'm like, I bet you every deer in the county heard that. Versus when you walk in when it's light, it's like, see you step over it and then you hit its brother laying where you can't see it. But yeah, long story short, it's like I can get in there and feel like I'm not blowing everything out and I can get in there quietly. And when I do that, it's like I get all set up and I'm like, that was stealthy.
Yeah.
You
And
like
then it's
you like the
like-
clean entry,
Right.
Mhm.
Maybe I don't know. We set up one morning. We got out there late and we were struggling to get up the tree. I was because none of my straps weren't working right. It was making me mad. And we're sitting there, lights in, making a bunch of noise, and we finally get up and we look, and there is eyes because we still had our headlamps on. And then she was 60, 70 yards. And like, I don't think it matters that much. Like unless
The
you're
light?
stepping over. I don't think the light and also just being noisy in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
The woods have
If you're
noise
walking,
inherently.
yeah,
Yep.
if you're walking over a deer, in
Dude,
the morning,
armadillos and stuff, possums.
You know how many times we got our bows off the hook when armadillos came walking in?
A lot.
It's a
noisy.
ton.
I have. I know that. The reason that I like mornings, and I think it may be purely like a southern thing, because the majority of the bow season is extremely hot.
Yeah.
Even in November.
Yeah.
So the coldest part of pretty much every day of October 1 through November 15th is like very peak morning.
I mean, that is true.
And I like, for me, it's like a feel thing. Like I like being out. I'm like, it's the coldest part of the day, the best part for movement, you know, because the swing in the evenings may be like in the October, you might be low 60s in the morning.
right.
But in the evening, it's like, okay, it's 79, 80 degrees until 5 minutes before dark.
Well, and actually longer than that,
Yeah.
probably. Like it's
Yeah.
still warm out until the sun's been down for a while.
It makes me feel like I'm actually deer hunting when it's
Yeah,
even a
I mean
nip
that
of
is
cold.
that is true. I mean, I see what you're saying. That's why it's a hard. I mean, it's a hard question.
I got an idea.
to
Hunt
actually-
both.
Yeah, let's do both of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll hunt all day.
I do. Yeah, and I go back for a little snack because I forgot my lunch with me.
Dude, I did my first all day sit last year.
How was that?
Terrible.
It was your first one ever.
Yeah, I've never done an all day sit till last year.
Dang.
So I was hunting that recurve hunt, and it's a evening, a full day, and a morning. So it's a
Mhm.
2-day hunt. I shot a buck that first. No, it's actually 2.5 days. I shot a buck the first morning, got out, tagged it, got another tag, went out, didn't see anything. I got back in that same stand, and it rained the entire day on my
Oh.
first all day sit. I put both pieces of my rain gear, and I literally looked like this for about 7 hours, and it was just no phone. Put an AirPod in, and I was like, "Of course, this is my first all day sit." And I
Yeah.
remember when it got like 6 o'clock, I was like, "Thank God."
So it is an all day sit for you. You're in one tree all day long.
Yeah,
you're in
like
one
never getting
spot.
down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I've done a handful of those,
Yeah,
but I mean that's just like growing up rifle hunting. A lot of people did that.
Yeah.
But also,
I better have a full charge on my phone.
yeah.
I bring a battery.
It's hard to sleep in a saddle too.
Dude, I found a
It's-
way.
I cross my arms over the bridge, so I have a pad on the tree. I'll
Mhm.
loosen it, swing into it,
Mhm.
and then I cross my arms and kind of do that.
You talking about sleeping in a saddle? Literally on that all day sit, I was hunting in a Y. So I did
Yeah, those are the best.
the best. I did bridge on one and I did tether on the other, and I got it to where it was like equally balanced. So what I did was I hung my feet off of the saddle, and I was just sitting on the platform, and I woke up and I like literally cinched myself to the tree like this, and I woke up like, I'm not kidding, an hour and a half later, and I was like, ugh. And I was trying to like move my feet, and I was like, ugh. And they were both completely.
Stop making that noise.
They're both completely. That's
You're
the-
turning him on.
That sounds so horrible. It's so horrible.
So,
Anyway,
I got up and I tried to put both feet on the platform, and I went, and I kind of fell. And I put one
You're
on
pretty cold.
and just work it till it was like, I'm not kidding, 5 minutes on that one, and then 5 minutes on the next
so
one.
your legs
kinda-
were asleep.
Dude, I thought they were gone.
Is it worse than sleeping in the driver's seat of a truck?
Dude, I thought my feet were gone. I thought somebody had came and snipped them off as I was sitting there. But I promise you, I got the best sleep of my life while I was asleep.
I
Because it was raining and I had myself cinched to the tree in 2 spots just like this. I bet a big deer walked underneath me when that happened.
I always think that. That's one thing I miss about a climber. I will never, ever hunt with a climber ever again.
Peyton loves climbers.
They're comfy though.
Oh,
Yeah,
they are so comfortable. But I'll never do it again. Around here, I mean, you guys saw the timber. It's thick in some spots.
Mhm.
And most of the time, I just left it at the trail. Like, I'm not even going to try to do
Well,
this.
if there's a method to use the bathroom out of, the climber's the best because you have a literal toilet seat. I've seen
That's true.
Mm.
Peyton
It's
loves
true.
that one.
I mean, you can do it out of a saddle, too. I've not done
Trust
it,
me,
but
I have.
yeah.
I've risked it for the biscuit.
Stevie
said, I've taken the majority of my bucks 15 minutes before the end of shooting light. Yeah.
Thank you.
You guys got some.
It's not something you agree and disagree on, I don't
Right.
think. It's just kind of a,
I'll do both.
yeah, we can.
But when people agree with us more than him, I get happy.
Mark St. Martin II said, I haven't done too many afternoon sits. I let my wife take those, but man, to me, nothing beats walking in the dark and watching the sun come up while sitting in your stand and makes you sleepy though. Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, it kind of makes me the opposite of sleepy in the mornings. I get sleepy in that warm evening time.
I don't know. I do get sleepy in the mornings quite a bit.
Really?
Like you get up and you're cold and you're like, oh shit, and you're getting out there and then the sun starts coming up and you feel the warmth on you a little bit. And
Mhm.
you're like, oh yeah.
Well, Peyton, our buddy Peyton, he's always like, if I go to the stand, I'm gonna sleep anyways, so I'm gonna stay at camp. Like that's what I'm in the morning. I'm gonna sleep anyway, so I'm just gonna stay.
Well,
at
just
camp.
just go out and sleep and just don't say anything. I've taken some of the best naps in the woods. I know everybody says that, but I have. It's true.
Oh, 100%, especially on the ground.
Oh, I remember when I used to rifle hunt. You have this before we bought good gear, and you had your big puffy coat. You stick your hands in your pockets, and your rifle was kind of slung up in between your arm, and you just lay up against a tree. Yeah,
Dude, I've had some of the best naps in my life in the woods.
oh,
Some of the best. Yeah, especially after and like on a long trip, day 4 or 5, you're like, yeah, this one's going down.
Yeah, I'm gonna do
I don't
it.
care at this point.
I've definitely dropped people off too to hunt before and been like, I'm not hunting.
Yeah,
And I just
take a
stay in
nap.
the truck and I'm like, they're like, you see anything? I'm like, yeah, a few, but nothing good.
Not a thing. Person actually hunts. Me neither.
Yeah,
Do you guys do you ever do like a traditional deer camp where you get
we
together
used
people?
to.
Really?
Yeah, whenever I was younger and I was rifle hunting, I took a hiatus on hunting. It was just kind of
Why?
going out. I wasn't taking it serious.
Hmm.
I used it as an excuse to skip school,
Oh, okay.
and I just wasn't that into it until I picked my bow back up and started bow hunting, which was like 4 years ago, and that's when I got serious about it. Anyway, yeah, we used to during rifle season we'd go down, had this whole area on public, and everybody had campers. We were there long enough. Everybody started off in tents, and then as the years went on, some people had box trailers with heaters in them.
Yep.
And then the years went on again, and then everybody had campers out there.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was a very traditional like tower of bush light, empty cans. We had the giant tent set up where we had food, like grills, Blackstones, all that stuff set up. I mean,
Amazing.
it was like the definition of deer camp.
That's
I
awesome.
love
And
deer
then
camp.
some people got old, some people just kind of stopped hunting, and then it just kind of slowly faded out. But I don't know, I kind of like 1 or 2 people I like doing that with. Now,
Mhm.
like we all had a group, we all went to camp, but we all went and hunted in different places.
Yeah, just reconvene at night.
Yeah, that would be different.
Mhm.
But kind of hunting by yourself is nice.
Yeah,
Unless you're trying to film, then it's nice having somebody.
it's absolutely nice. We have a deer camp of about, I don't know, 5 or 6 people
Yeah,
that
usually.
go most of the time. And I just love it, the communal aspect of it, because it seems like if somebody's always down
Yeah.
and somebody's always up.
Yeah.
'Cause somebody
Keep
always
spirits
saw a
up.
good deer and somebody always saw nothing.
Yeah.
And that just keeps everybody going.
I think the perfect scenario would be if like we all had like a piece of property to hunt within 20 minutes of here,
Mm-hmm.
and then we had our deer camp there. That way we all go hunt our own properties, and then all of us have a very good chance of killing one and then coming back.
Coming back to deer
Because
camp.
public just is not that much fun anymore.
Around here?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Everybody's like, oh, public is cooler. You got to work harder. I'll go on air saying after I've hunted private, unless I just have to, I will not hunt public.
You see,
Really?
Here anyway.
That's
Like
fair.
obviously in Kansas, I kind of have to,
A little different.
but I stepped foot on public for youth season because I can't rifle hunt this property. Stepped foot on public for youth season with my little brother. Never went out again during deer season. Turkeys a little bit different because I don't know, my head that's a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
I don't
Nope.
like that, like, oh, you got to work harder mentality on public, because like that's really not it. You just got to go to a piece of public that doesn't have that much pressure and has big deer. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
and that might take a little bit of rubber on the road, but like, I don't really agree with the whole just work harder
no,
mentality.
and I think I can give a good opinion that's kind of stable. I mean, it is my opinion, but I've not been doing this long, and I started off on public, loved hunting public, hated hunting public,
Mm-hmm.
hunted private, and I can tell you that are things different? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But if you screw up on private, you have nobody else to blame
Right.
except for yourself. And of course, there's got to be work done and trimming this and trimming that, and planning whatever. It's a different type of work you got to put into it.
Yeah. I don't really like the hard ass mentality.
don't either.
No.
Like, because I'm like, dude, this is fun.
Yeah.
Like, this is
Yeah.
not my job.
Yeah, and
I'm
I don't
not like,
care.
dude, I work hard.
Yeah.
You know,
When-
my worst pet peeve is when the first thing somebody says after they kill a deer is, I work so hard for this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, stop.
Yeah, it's a little cringy. Now, and I don't want to say don't do it at all. When I go down with Lance, we don't have private to hunt around there.
Yeah.
But also there's a ton of ground that way, so it's different. And just around here, I just don't have any use to do it. I have no reason to go do it.
Yeah.
At all. Why would I go and hate my life on public around here where I can go to a piece of property where nobody else is on? I'm not bothering anybody else and be done with it.
Well, I know it's against basement decorators' ideas or Thomas's, but I think people should, if they can, do a little bit of both. I like to do a little bit of both.
No,
Like,
in his opinion, people took it. I'm not saying you took it the wrong way. His opinion is, if I told you, like, you know what, dude, I am gonna go hunt public, 'cause I want to just say that I killed one on public, just
Yeah.
to say that I did it, and I can go on the internet and just gloat about it.
mhm,
And he's like, why would you do that when you don't have to?
mhm.
You're just doing it so you can go out and do that.
Yeah.
And I get it. There's some aspect to that, but I got buddies that are like, man, I've killed good bucks, 140, 150 inch deer on my private, but I need to get a public buck. Why? Like, or you want to shoot a
To
bigger
ego
one?
stroke.
Yeah. Or you want to shoot a
Probably.
bigger one? No, I feel like I need to kill one on public.
Mm-hmm.
Why? And what's the reasoning beside it's everybody's land to use?
Sure.
And they can't ever give me a good reason.
Yeah.
Unless it's I know somebody who kills deer on his private piece every year, but they're all kind of in the same class between the 130 and 150. It's like, I want to go to a piece of public that nobody goes to and see if there's bigger deer out there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a different type of doing that.
Reasoning.
Yeah.
We've always kind of went to public just out of like public for us has always been a better opportunity
Right.
than what we have.
Yeah.
Like, I never understood people are like, oh, public, that sucks. I'm going to my private. I'm like, well, I guess my private sucks because
Yeah.
I've never had private that gave me bigger deer than the public that I
But
hunted.
that's the thing. Like, there, it's nice, and I think it's a convenient thing, right? Because it's probably more than likely close to their house or
Yep.
something like that. And so, like, it is convenient. Obviously, I don't have kids yet, and so like, I can't really relate to that so hard, because I'm sure once I have a kid, it'll be a completely different thing. But with that being said, it's like, what we feel or what we've had hunting, Craig County in Oklahoma, it's like you might have one or two good bucks, but the chances of you killing them are slim to none.
Yeah.
Versus when you can go to another place and like, you don't have to just stop at that fence line or whatever.
You make your access
can-
40 times the size.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and you can fight this too. I have 90 acres of permission piece that's closer to my house. There's 1,000 acres 45 minutes from here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could play devil's advocate, say, well, you have 1,000 acres to hunt over here.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but it's 1,000 acres with 20 people. It's different.
Right.
And
Yeah.
but
yeah.
everybody can argue whatever. I don't really care. I'm not going to look at you differently whether
It's
you
super
killed on public.
situational though.
Yeah.
Like, depending on the public, depending on the goal, just everything. I mean, just hunting in general.
One thing that
is
does drive me
situational.
nuts, and I know I've done it before, is like when people kill something, I'm like, public or private? Like,
Oh, they ask you what? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of that. I'll be
yeah,
honest.
I've done it too. But when you look back on things, you're like, man, that's just you need to. That doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's a good buck. and people put that stigma like, oh, it's a public land buck, so he can shoot it because it's smaller, it's on public land, or I don't know. There's a whole rabbit hole we could dive into this.
Whole public.
Yeah, and it's just most of it just kind of drives me nuts. But
Well, deer hunting is such an individualistic journey.
Yeah.
Like there might be a guy that's hunted 2,500 acres of premier private ground his whole life and killed 180-inch deer. And he's like, well, I'm a better deer hunter than you. It's like, maybe. Yeah. Or you might have good access.
Yeah.
And that's why you cannot compare yourself to no one person is the same situation.
No.
Unless we're at the same ground and no one.
Now,
does.
that person might have the perfect property, but he's worked his ass off to get that property.
Mhm.
You still have to hunt. It's not like you just walk out there and the deer come to you. Unless it's in a freaking high fence, but you still have to work for it, no matter which way you go about it. There's just different types of work.
I've worked so hard for this.
Yeah. And sometimes maybe you have, like if you've had an encounter with a buck and it's like, man, I spent a lot of time trying to kill this deer.
Yeah. It's more about the story with the deer than it is like my personal work,
Right.
That's at least the way I think about it. Because I don't know, I don't care private or public or whatever, but the private land stuff when they're like, I put in so much work in my air conditioned tractor.
Yeah.
And I was out here with my lights on, putting beans in. I'm like, okay, dude, awesome. But
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily completely disagree with you, but I can
It's
see what you're
funny.
saying.
You
It's a
know.
little, yeah,
At
it can
the
be
end
a
of the
little
day, who
cringy
cares?
sometimes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. So Kyle Ford Outdoors said, Doapalooza. He said, camp out of a random public ground with about 6 buddies and just doe hunt all weekend. Some of the best stress relief you could ever have. Agreed.
We
tried to do a doe hunt this past fall.
Did we?
Yeah, you were supposed to come to Missouri.
Oh, I'd love to do that.
Yeah, and we just got so busy, we never ended up working out. Which,
I remember that.
Yeah.
Now, yeah.
because you were like, "Is there any good public?" I'm like, "No." down down where we're at. Yeah, like there's not really, but we can go kill some does.
I love to
do you
kill
have any
those.
housing communities that have a doe infestation?
So we need to talk. I'll tell you guys a little secret once we get off.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'd love to do a traditional deer camp with people, like because deer camp is like or deer hunting is so individualistic in a
Yeah.
lot of ways. It's like I have a big buck, you don't, so I'm gonna hide and try to go kill him. And it's
Yeah.
like I don't know. I feel like the overanalyzation of all these different situations makes hunting not fun.
yeah, it
For
is.
a
It
lot of
does.
people.
That's why I mean, turkey hunting is a good like feeler. I think
Mhm.
Plan a turkey hunt. And you can go on public wherever you want to go. Turkeys, it's not like one person has a turkey on trail camera they've been trying to kill for 4 years.
Yeah.
And you guys can still get together and do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Well, we had talks of potentially later down the road, like starting a like a temporary moving deer camp. Like so maybe we pick just a random piece of public, and we invite people to go hunt that. And when I mean invite people, like whoever wants to show up can show up.
Right.
Yeah.
And then just like not a certain piece, and not trying to like throw a hidden gem of everybody's on the internet or something like that, but just like, hey, let's all meet up here. Let's spend a weekend here at deer camp, and then like next week we'll be in this state at this piece of public, and whoever wants to come camp can do
Yeah.
that.
I mean,
I could see
maybe.
how that could get messy.
Right.
But
Maybe like a once a year kind of
yeah.
thing.
But I mean,
Yeah.
you could do it with even like your
Closer,
crowd, your
yeah.
group of friends. Like, hey, this is what it costs for us to go do this. If you want to go, we'll put it into an account, pay for whatever we need to pay for, go do
Mhm.
it. If we don't get enough, then we don't go. If we get enough, then we go.
I'd probably pick one of those places that's like 1 million acres. So it's like,
Yeah.
I can be like, we're going here. Oh, you won't know where we're at though.
Yeah.
One of those games. Because I would hate to pick a spot that's 5,000 acres. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
cool. Now I brought an army
There's
to this place.
there's a piece that is not far of a drive for me, and it's 200 acres, and I've seen 10 trucks on it at once.
nice.
I went to a piece in Texas last year that was how big was that piece? 800 acres or
It was
something?
like 500 or something.
Okay.
Like
Yeah. And there were 16 trucks in the parking lot. And there was 70% of the land was so thick, it was a oil property. So I'd never seen a fire in its life. So
Yeah.
it was like impenetrable. And it's like 70% of it was unhuntable. And I was sitting there after dark after the sun had come up with my neighbors, because I took like my 10-year-old neighbor and his dad, because they'd
Mhm.
never been hunting before. And we're sitting there. I'm like, all right, guys, like, you watching this draw? And then a truck comes driving down the fence. He's like, we're going to go back there and hunt. I'm like, cool, dude. I'm hunting right here, right now. And then I was like, sorry, guys.
They weren't even supposed to drive back there.
No.
either.
And they,
Yeah.
yeah. I was like,
That's so
you're running
stupid.
this for everybody.
Yeah. I I mean, when I pull up to a piece of public, if there's somebody there, depending on the size of it,
Mm-hmm.
I'm usually turning around and leaving. Right.
Right.
Usually what I'm doing.
Well, I tell you, the most pressure I've ever seen on a piece of public was Kansas in the first 2 weeks in November.
I could
Yeah, that was
imagine.
stupid.
Like, because you get these places and like they have designated parking spots, right? You can't just park on the side of the road in a lot of places. And it's like, you go to this spot, 5 trucks. And you're like, there's one piece of timber here and the rest is bean fields and we're bow hunting.
Yeah.
Where are you guys?
Yeah.
And then it's like, next parking lot, 5 trucks. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to sleep in today.
Yeah.
I'll just go back. So we've done that too.
What's great is like getting to a spot like on a Thursday night or something and hunting it. And then it's like, okay, I've seen a few deer here. I'm going to leave my stuff, come back the next morning. And as you're walking through, like there's already headlamps up in trees, like flashing, like, hey, I'm hunting over here. It's like, dude, my stuff's already in the tree. Like my decision's made. I'm walking right here.
Yeah. But he beat you to it.
Yeah, but my stuff's in the tree.
It doesn't matter. He beat you to
That's
it.
when I get in
No,
the street
it wasn't like we're hunting close. I have to walk by him.
past him to get to it.
Oh, okay. I see what
Yeah.
you're saying.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
I walked into a bedding area in Kansas one time and I was like just literally like gonna creep in like 30 yards of it. And this guy had walked in the completely wrong wind direction through 800 yards of bedding and was in a tree. And I was like starting to get up in a tree and he's like, or I know I sat down because I was tired and it was daylight savings. So I was like 30 minutes late.
Yeah.
And the guy goes, you gonna sit right there? Like audibly. And I was like, not now. And
Yeah.
he was like, I think you should move. And I was like, I think I should run your hunt right now, dude. Like he's like, I think
Great.
you should move.
I think I need to take a poop right now.
Yeah. The joys of hunting public land.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have any aspirations on doing any of the Western stuff? Is there anything that
Oh, yeah.
interests you on that side?
Yeah. Mule deer, elk. Like, really want to do it.
The
I
whole-
don't think it's in next year's plans. Maybe
Yeah.
mule deer. But elk. Yeah, both those for sure. I just think it'd be just fun. Just big animals. Mule deer are really cool too.
Does any of the like the backcountry wilderness hiking, living off your back, is that kind of what interests you, or is it purely just the game?
Oh, I
Is it
mean,
all of it?
it's the whole like
Kick
shebang.
and boodle.
Everything. And it depends on where you go. You're going to have to do it differently
Mm.
with whatever. But yeah, that whole process.
Yeah.
We want to go in and maybe not the first time, like, go in 10, 15 miles for my first hunt. But yeah, I want to have everything on your back, set
Mhm.
up camp, you go out, put everything back up, go do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
I want to do that. Do you have any idea where you want to go?
No. I have,
Anyway.
You don't discriminate
I mean, Colorado, didn't they just change the
over the
they
counter
did.
out thing?
Yeah, so I mean, it's going to be a draw most likely. I mean, I can do it in Missouri. I can elk hunt in Missouri.
Really?
Yeah, you just have to, draw for it.
How many points is that?
I have no idea.
Half a
Because
lifetime.
there's a guy, there was some people on Facebook in Oklahoma because we have the Wichitas Southwest, and there's a good elk population down there, and there was guys like, I have 42 points and I haven't drawn, but it's a bonus system.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not a true preference system. So people have 42, their names in there 42 times. It's like you didn't get picked, buddy.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, an
sorry.
attestater puts in for the first time and gets it.
0 points
Yeah.
because you always got a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, I probably won't do elk in Missouri because it's different.
Yeah.
I just think, they used to be here, obviously.
So you want the scenery and then just like the animals a bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I want to be in that
understand.
like dark timber, like worried about bears.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, man, that'd be sweet.
You can do it. I mean, it's not as unachievable or unaffordable
Oh,
as
no,
people think either.
It's not. It's just honestly finding the time to do it.
Mhm.
And I've got to figure out how to hunt shit in my own state before
Yeah, preach,
I
brother.
start
Can I
going
get an
out.
amen?
Like, I shouldn't be going to Kansas.
Oh, you
right
think
now.
I'm bad at this? I'm going to Colorado.
Yeah.
With
Wa-
the recurve.
Yeah, watch it. I'm gonna figure out everything else but my home state. That'd be my luck,
Yeah.
which would be fine. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
okay with that.
Yeah, you can unnotch everywhere. I mean,
Yeah.
they'll take the money.
Oh yeah, I know they will.
It's green and the
Absolutely.
right size.
We donated $1,400 to Colorado to take our bows on a hike one time. And they're
Jeez.
like, "Thank you guys."
Yeah, I appreciate
They even
it.
called me. They're like, "How was your experience?" And it's like, "It sucks." How many days did you hunt? Like 1.5. And they're like, "Oh, that's why."
Well, yeah, you had to pay 100. Was it 170
Yeah.
just for Kansas to know that you're interested in hunting?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Good grief.
exactly. The hunting license.
Yeah. Like, hey, Edge, by the way, I'm a little interested in coming out here and hunt.
I'd like to come. Denied.
Yeah.
Well, it really sucks, like because the Western stuff. Because it's like you kind of have to have a strategy to go hunt west now. It's like you ain't just gonna wake up one day and be like, "I'm gonna go do this." Like
Yeah.
over the counter opportunities are leaving. Like any decent unit is like multiple points.
Yeah.
It's like it's an hour. never kind of game. Like you kind of got to get in it
Yeah.
to get going.
I also feel like the planning of out west stuff is not just like planning on going to a certain unit to hunt whitetails.
Mhm.
We all know how to hunt whitetails. It's just
Do we?
Learning.
maybe a little
Learning.
bit. We kind of understand it anyway.
Yeah.
And I mean, in my head, going out there, like I'm gonna have to really like, okay, we're gonna be here. We're gonna have to hike here and go up here in this spot, and then that all can go to just shit very quickly.
Yeah.
And here, it's all right, cool. I'm just gonna go home and eat some chili and watch the football game. And
There's something nice about that too.
it is. It's
Yeah.
I mean,
There's a time and place.
I
For
will
both.
never not hunt home for.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So would you be interested in like an outfitted route, like to get your toes in the water, or like eating a couple crap sandwiches to eventually bounce
I
it out by
would do
yourself?
it the crab sandwiches way first.
Nice.
Do it. I don't know. It's just me. I think everybody's got a personal preference.
Sure.
If I was like 50 years old, I
Mhm.
mean, okay, if I was like 60 years old, I guess, and I wanted to go out before I couldn't walk anymore or
Mm.
couldn't do it anymore, then I'd
God,
probably
sad that's a standard in our country.
right.
Before my legs quit working.
Yeah.
At 60.
And I would probably do an outfit, but
Uh-huh.
I don't have a reason to, man.
That's
I
fair.
like to learn, so I'll do it and
Yeah.
eat crab sandwiches.
Yeah. So you can eventually
Yeah.
poke one. Yeah. Miles and his dad were talking about their hunts today. They're like, yeah, we had an elk at 5 steps with our recurve. We had one at 10. I was like, I want to go with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's the
There-
pin?
There's some killers, man.
It sounded like it.
Yeah. Will this come out before that one?
No.
Okay.
Well, this is
No.
already out.
Yeah, it's true. They're out right now.
Oh,
We're live.
But we'll
well, I
edit it and
mean,
put it together.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
The Black
I
Widow
know.
probably will be first. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be sweet.
Yeah. I'm excited about that one.
But to
fine,
go out
too.
west, it's like because I don't like traveling to hunt even whitetail in my home state without like an extra guy there because like I get lonely, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't want them sitting
Jay
in the
gets
same tree
scared.
as me. But at camp and stuff, it's like, hey, I have 9 with like 12 reasons not to try to mess with this truck, but so does he.
Right.
So I like that aspect of it, and especially if I was to go out west, like it'd have to be a buddy system for sure.
I got a buddy who went to Montana to bear hunt by himself.
Good for him.
Yeah.
He's a
and-
man.
Yeah. He's like, man, I just need a break. I'm like, dude, you do you. And he's like, it was the best thing that happened, but I wish I had somebody there with me.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. Have you ever seen the Bow Only Outdoors
Yes.
YouTube?
Yep.
Yeah, they're really good at production. And one of them went and did a solo DIY Colorado like high country elk hunt, and he went 10 days and shot one on like the 10th day by himself.
Gosh.
Yeah,
That's
but-
knowing yourself.
Yeah.
dude.
I mean, it'd be super
I'd be scared to get with my own thoughts.
Yeah.
You suck. We'll never make it out of here.
Yeah. That's exactly what would happen. Especially when you're up in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not I was scared walking on my stand.
Dude.
When
like,
it's super dark
I
out.
couldn't imagine.
When you
Wake up
think-
at 2 a.m. and you hear something. It's like there's no one else here. It's me.
dude. You'd have to be really comfortable with your Garmin.
Yeah. Very
Really.
comfortable with it. No, man. I enjoy hunting with buddies, but there's times when I want to be by myself.
Mhm.
I just don't know about out west. Like it'll probably be a buddy system out when you first go, but I could see
I
you
could
picking
see
it
it.
up if you had to go by yourself. You're like, it's fine. I can
But
do
that's
it.
just
Yeah.
like that unnecessary danger in a way because like people are crazy. I know there's been crazy people throughout all time, but it's like it's that unnecessary danger of not having that buddy, in case you get bit by like a rattlesnake or something or whatever.
Your
like,
buddy ain't gonna help you 10 miles back.
I understand that. I
You
understand
gonna
that.
suck the
But
venom out of
Saw
me?
his leg off.
yeah, he better get the sucking. That's all I'm saying.
Sorry, dude. You gotta cut your leg off.
Whatever it takes. But as long as you have that extra guy, just safety reasons. But I even think about that too. Like if I'm on public, and because sometimes we don't have the best cell service, and it's like I accidentally get like 20, 25 foot up in a tree, and I'm like, this wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, I don't want to be like, well, yep, he died hunting. So
Yeah. John, did he say anything about his tree stand thing?
Mm-mm.
So he's got a beard. He fell
Yeah.
out of a stand, fell right on his face.
Wait,
He
really?
got scars on his face. Yeah.
From falling out of a tree?
Yep.
John was one of the nicest guys I've ever met.
He's
a
the
really cool
nicest
dude.
guy when you know him, but when you just look at him, it looks like he'd kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's like the nicest dude ever.
He was in there painting bows, and I was like, these look amazing.
yeah, the green.
Yeah,
one's
he's
awesome.
just big.
Yeah. Got a really nice beard.
Yeah.
Wish I could grow that beard. Yeah, he was a super cool dude.
He's also a killer. Like,
Yeah?
he's a killer.
Trad guy or
Yeah, he does
No,
both.
he said he compounded hunt as
yeah,
well.
he does
Mhm.
both.
Yeah. I
That's
feel like
pretty
that's
cool.
on the interview application at Black Widow. It's like, do you have a compound? Now they all said they
Did you guys
Yeah.
fill one out?
did. We what?
Fill one out?
Oh yeah, I've shot them before.
No, did you fill one out? You said interview application.
Oh, frick,
you
I
knew,
wish.
knew
I
what
wish.
it was.
I should have.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd be awesome. But I've shot Black Widow bows in the past, and they're freaking sick.
they just look cool.
Dude,
Yeah,
Yeah,
seeing how they were made, I was like, I understand why they're so expensive.
yeah,
I think they're 100% worth it. I mean, they're all like pretty much handmade
dude,
going out.
handmade. 10 people had to work on that thing
Yeah,
to get
For
it
like a
made.
week.
And it's all custom.
So cool.
And they're that'll probably be
They
my
do it
first.
right. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean they're like the Mercedes of recurves.
Yeah, they are. So what? I mean, obviously you're making content and stuff with your Unnotch page and stuff. But what aspirationally with like the content stuff? Is there anything like any direction that you're headed, or any like things you're excited about on the content side as you like head into this season? Anything you're gonna do differently?
I'm going to film a lot more. There's going to be a lot more long form stuff and a lot more of like actual hunting stuff. I love doing the humor. Don't get me wrong, and I will keep doing that. But there's going to be a lot more clips of things happening, good or bad. And just because I didn't film as much last year, and I
Mhm.
regret it a lot not doing that. So there's gonna be a lot more long form stuff and keeping up with it more. Life's been crazy, so people are like, "This guy hasn't posted in weeks." It's like,
Yeah.
I'm
happens.
getting back into it.
Yeah.
We'll be back up and running here before too long.
Yeah, well, I mean, the short form stuff is really cool, and I feel like it's good to grab attention.
Yeah.
Because people have literally no attention span.
Me,
Yeah,
of
yeah.
goldfish, yeah.
But the long form stuff is like Jake and I talk about this sometimes. It's like that's an opportunity for people to get to know you.
Yeah,
As a-
exactly.
as
And
a
it's
hunter.
fun. I love editing long form. It's cool to see a story
Yep.
kind of happen. But like, we sit here and tell stories, but we're also like cracking the jokes.
Yeah. It's both.
And the jokes don't last 20 minutes talking about how you drew on a deer that was on the ground and then
Your
you're
stories
shaking.
did last 20 minutes. My stories do. You gotta know.
I'm just saying.
Jake's like, let's start at the beginning.
gotta
See, that
know.
was like a 10-second joke.
Yes.
See how that works?
No, I'm just messing with you. But no, I mean, I'm just gonna keep doing
You got
what
a
I
short
think's the
attention
best.
span. I understand. Me
I do,
too.
man.
Yeah.
But I got a good one too. It's all right.
Uh,
So I'm gonna keep doing me and just, try to make it as good as I can
Mhm.
moving forward.
And I mean, is the goal to kind of just obviously see where it goes season by season?
Oh,
and
yeah.
then-
Yeah, definitely, especially on the YouTube long form stuff. It's gonna be kind of weird because like this past season was like there's a couple videos and then it just stopped.
Yeah.
But I want people to be able to see the process of everything,
Mhm.
and I'm not, with like the saddle hunting stuff and me talking about gear and people I'm with. I learn a lot, but I'm also very fresh to
Green.
a lot of things.
Yeah.
So when I give an opinion on something, it's
Mhm.
my opinion from the last 3 years, not I've been hunting out of a saddle for 20 years. I think
Yeah.
you should saddle hunt. That's not what I'm saying. It's like, hey, I've done this for a couple years. I bought one just because I wanted to try it, and I really do love it. I've been doing it for 3 years now,
Mhm.
or stuff along those lines. That's kind of what I want people to see in it, but also be able to watch as like a badass video.
Sure.
but,
Yeah.
but you're still gonna have people that say you could have 40 years experience. People's gonna be like, you don't know crap.
Oh yeah,
Click
yeah.
on their profile picture, 5 chins. Okay, Larry.
yeah. You guys have seen my content. I do not give a shit what people think
Yeah.
about me at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird because as humans and especially as hunters, like all we are experts in is our own opinion
Yep.
and our own experiences. And it's like you share your experiences and people are like, well, that's stupid. You're like, well, that's my experience.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna lie to you. That's how I feel
That's
about it.
how you feel about it. That's how you've done it.
Yeah.
And
Whatever.
what works for you in Iowa probably ain't gonna work for you in Missouri or
But yeah,
Arkansas.
I mean, it's all different. I
Mhm.
don't think you can get unless two people hunt the same exact property the same way for however many years they want to do. I mean, the same tree and everything.
Mhm.
You cannot have an opinion that is the same. And if you think about it that way, that's like an extreme version of thinking about that. But
Sure. It's true though.
yeah, it is all different. We could be on the same piece of property, get there the same exact time, and be in different trees, and that
Mhm.
changes our experience, even if we're 100 yards away from each other.
Well, we get comments like I've seen it. We had the kill shot video, like our first long form video that got like 1 million views,
Mhm.
and some on YouTube. And people are like, "Oh, I'd never shoot one over a feeder." And it's like, yeah, because you have bean fields and cornfields.
Yeah,
I
different.
totally understand what you're. And you have 1,000 acres. I have 100.
Yeah.
and I have no implements.
Yeah, and I have 90 with neither one of those.
Mm-hmm.
It's all
And you
different.
can't bait.
Yeah, it's all different.
yeah, that's fun,
That's part of the world we're in. I love it though.
dude.
It's
Stupidity is rampant.
Yeah, I mean, it really is a blast, and But you also get to meet a lot of cool people.
Yeah.
So
Well, like we see the stuff on the internet, and like I think like, oh my god, if I see like 100 hate comments on a video that gets a decent views, and then you go out in public and you're like, well, I probably will eventually see those people. It's like,
No.
I haven't met one of them yet.
nope.
Mm-hmm.
Not one of them.
I've had people come up to me and be like, "Hey man, like I wear Sitka, but that's funny shit." And
Yeah.
like you can tell they're a little upset about it, but they still enjoy it. And
Yeah.
I've never had one person actually say, and they could have been there.
Mm-hmm.
They've never said anything to my face.
Well, all it does is weed out the people that you don't even want to talk to, anyways.
Yeah.
So
And I don't
That's
care to
good.
talk. If somebody disagrees with me, I don't care to talk to them.
right, but
I really don't at all.
they aren't going to be a dick straight to your face.
No, I don't think so anyway. But,
No.
great. I mean, if you're somebody who doesn't like me, come talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
That's
We
fine.
hate me
are
more.
right now.
Yeah, because you'd be the first person out of a lot of the people that I know that actually confronts somebody that you do not like that is a social
Yeah.
media person.
Well, what I love about having a full-time job and not doing content full-time, it's like, dude, you're taking this way more serious than I am.
Oh,
like
yeah.
people that get angry, I'm like, I wasn't that dead set on my opinion.
Yeah.
Like you could probably
Or that
convince
came
me
out wrong.
otherwise.
You know what I mean? Like you're talking about something out of a 2-hour podcast and it's getting clipped in 30
50 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, that's not at all what I meant. And also, if you listen to the podcast, which I know you won't, I don't blame you. Like, I'm explaining my private land right here. Like,
Yeah.
but I still would shoot a 150-inch 2-year-old. That's just my opinion.
That's pretty funny.
People hated that.
Oh,
Jake.
you know, I did that little test clip to prove that point.
With working class.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We were
I've seen
talking
that.
about, I said something about Missouri being the hardest place to deer hunt. Obviously, it's not. Whatever. But we clipped that. We're like, let's just see how many people only watch this.
Yeah.
Even if we say watch the full episode, or we even took a little 5-minute clip that was the before and after of that 30-second clip.
Mm-hmm.
Said, watch this to get the whole story.
Mm-hmm.
People still didn't do it.
No.
And it's hilarious. It was like people fell right into our trap. We love it. Not even a trap, it was just a little experiment.
It proved your point.
It worked. And once they would message me on Instagram, be like, dude, I just want to say that I think you're fucking idiot. And I'm like, please
Thank
watch
you.
this. It'll
Mhm.
explain everything. And they're like, oh man, like I did
I'm
fall.
the idiot.
Yeah, I did fall fat. Like that was good. I had 3 people say that.
Why do you take hunting so seriously that I'm gonna get on and comment on another person's video? Like, I don't like you that you do it that way.
Do you know-
that upsets me?
If I don't agree with something or I think something's dumb, I just scroll past it.
Or I send it to a friend over at IM and I'm like, that was stupid, wasn't it?
Yeah. I'm not the only one thinking looking dumb, right? Yeah. That too.
I just
did.
don't think it's that serious. It's
No.
like
It shouldn't be.
killing deer is really, really fun.
If you
It
take
is.
it that seriously, it ain't going to be fun. It's
No.
kind of like the arrow stuff, right? Like if you dive too deep and you get to so many rabbit holes, it's like it's almost overwhelming and it's like not even fun.
And I think some people do really take it seriously, but I think people also think people they see on TV take it way too seriously because it's
Yeah.
all they're seeing.
Sure.
They're only seeing the serious side of things.
Well, and I promise you, I want to kill. If you put a 200-inch deer in a field, I want to kill that deer just as bad as Lee Lukowski does.
Yeah.
Now, I might have more few chuckles and mess it up, and he won't. But I want to kill it just as bad.
He's gonna actually have a chance to kill that deer. You're not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's-
But you get the point.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, it's so fun. It's the thing that you're looking forward to. You sit in bed at night and you think about a buck you have on trail camera. You're like, I'm going to kill him when I get off work Friday. I'm going to go kill that deer. And people just, I don't know.
Say it. I always say it'd be so cool to kill that deer. Like,
Mhm.
Still act like it's not gonna ever happen. It'd be really cool to kill that deer.
Oh, I'm not going in the woods unless I think I can kill him.
If you guys are anything like us, you love being in the deer woods and chasing big bucks. But there's another part of you that has that itch to chase other big game species.
If you've ever dreamed of chasing black bear, mule deer, or moose, Alberta, Canada is the land of opportunity for these adventure-style hunts.
Each year, hundreds of first-time visiting hunters from around the world come to Alberta for the options, quality, and accessibility that the land offers.
With over 1,800 Boone and Crockett entries and endless possibilities of taking multiple species on a single trip, Alberta is truly a paradise for a big game hunter. This is why we partnered up with the Alberta Professional Outfitters Society. To check it out, go to apos.ab.ca and click Find an Outfitter. From there, you can browse all the different big game species and hunting styles that fit with what you want out of the hunt.
Or you can send a free hunt inquiry through the follow the lead tool, and the outfitters who have what you are looking for will reach out to you directly.
So make sure to check out apos.ab.ca to learn all about hunting in Alberta and get connected to the right outfitter for you. Yeah. So Kyle Ford Outdoors said, what does a guy have to do to hunt Oklahoma/Texas for hogs if you're from out of state? That's pretty simple.
I think you can just come, can't you? Or do you have to have a license?
I think you still have to have a hunting license. In Texas, you might not. I'm not sure on that, but you guys don't have hogs up here, do you?
Southeast Missouri, we do.
Really?
Forest Service takes care of a lot of them. They don't want you doing it, but yeah,
They don't want you shooting them?
No, you can.
Why?
You can legally shoot them.
Hmm.
I think the laws could have changed before the last time I looked at them. So, but yeah, you're supposed to call the Forest Service.
Seriously?
Yep.
Huh.
No.
Yeah, you'll see pins on public land.
Call the Forest Service if you see a pig?
No, pins. Like where they're trapping them.
Oh,
Oh,
trapping
gotcha,
pins.
gotcha.
Yeah, we see those too. in
I'm
Oklahoma.
sure.
Yeah, dude, a ton. Yeah. They're never full of hogs though. When I see them, I
No.
just
No,
wait
they're
for
always
that day.
open, and they always got cameras set up on them too.
Yeah,
So-
that's true.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you'd need a permit or not, or just your license.
I would
in
assume. I mean,
general.
I don't know,
I'm
but I
sure
would
I'm a
s-
hunting license.
because
yeah,
they're like a
yes.
varmint, basically.
Yeah, I'd get a hunting license or call a game warden.
Yeah.
or just Google it. Probably figure it out pretty
Or
quick.
just don't get caught.
That's another option. Yeah, but I mean, there's pigs to be had on Oklahoma Public.
Yes.
There are some of those, and I don't know about Texas. Good luck in Texas.
If you want a free call out, go to Call WMA
Oh
in
my God,
Oklahoma.
stop.
Yes. A lot of hogs there.
Jake single-handedly is running
Dude,
that
I
place
will
on the
ruin
internet.
that. I want it to be burned to the ground or sold to Kansas.
Yeah, or sold to Kansas.
Something.
Well, it's already split in half with Kansas.
That's what I mean.
So-
Just give it to them. It's a piece.
So you're going. We're getting pretty close. I'm going to wrap up here, but so you're going to Kansas this year.
Yep.
So let's say you go to Kansas. Let's say you do shoot that buck that you've been chasing at Missouri. You go to Kansas, shoot a buck. Are you going to be satisfied, or are you going to keep
Oh yeah,
that ball rolling?
I'm gonna keep it rolling, but I'm gonna be satisfied. Yeah. So let's just say I shoot one before I go to Kansas. I can shoot one then, go to Kansas, and then when we get back, that's when rifle season. Which I don't hunt rifle, but that's when we can start using our rifle tags.
We're all
with
friends
the
here,
bow.
dude. You can say you want rifle.
Yeah. No, I don't. But
I don't.
so yeah,
I'm just
I swear to
kidding.
God, I don't want rifle.
I swear.
you can hunt so that's $3 you can potentially kill. If you don't
Mhm.
kill them during rifle, you still have another buck tag for your archery.
Mm-hmm.
So that you can only kill 2 bucks in Missouri total.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's
And
perfect.
then, so if I do both bucks in Missouri and then Kansas, Missouri also has management hunts.
Hmm.
So if you draw for management hunt, you get another buck tag.
Wow.
That's what I did in Oklahoma last year. I shot $3 in Oklahoma in October, and a guy gets on the post and he goes, he said, I wouldn't be posting about your poaching in
Oh, my
Oklahoma. And I was like,
Mhm.
you think I'm that dumb?
Yeah, posting about it with a big page. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly what I'm doing.
This is my 3rd buck in Oklahoma. He said, you only get 2. And I was like, I'm aware, dude.
Good
Like,
grief. Yeah.
I'm with you.
I almost shot 4, FYI.
What's crazy? Yeah, if you shoot a buck over 110 on that management or draw hunt, they give you another buck tag.
Interesting.
And so I could have shot 4. So I would, just for that guy, I should have been like, I shot 4 bucks in Oklahoma so far. Look at
Gosh.
them all.
No, but I will 100% be satisfied. I was satisfied leaving the season last year because I learned so much.
Yeah.
And had more opportunity than I ever have because I think I'm actually figuring out how to deer hunt just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And
Year after year.
yeah, I think as long as I get to go to Kansas and see a deer, it's going to be, I'd much rather kill one, obviously.
Yeah.
But I understand it takes some time to actually learn some things.
I think home is like your place where you hone, get really good at a certain environment or shooting a certain type of deer. And then every year for me, it's like seeing something new. I
Yeah.
want to go to something that's like, I've never seen that before, or that does
Yeah.
not look like where I hunt, and kill one there. And I feel like that's how you can really sharpen your.
Oh yeah,
Your
most
tool, too.
definitely. Yeah, I'm excited about it just to be able to my first out of state hunt. So I'm stoked about it.
You can grab my muzzleloader if you
Do
need it.
not get into that Kansas mentality where it's like, oh, Kansas giant.
Yeah, what would
no.
you shoot in Kansas? What would your standards be?
Man, you guys are talking earlier about you need to make a decision before you're at full draw. I think for me, me and Lance were talking about it. I said, for me, it's going to have to be when I'm at full draw. Sitting there looking at that thing, like, do I actually kill this?
Well, at that point, the peep is not by the horns. I'm like, that looks like a good body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just saying.
So whatever tickles your fancy.
Whatever. I mean, obviously, I'd rather shoot something that's a little bit older and actually has a rack, but
That hope.
it's just one of those things, man. I can't tell you what I'm going to shoot. I'm not
That's
going to go for
fine.
something little, but am I going to be like, you know what? That's a 130. I really want 140. Hell no. Like, he's going to get eaten. Like,
You have the right mentality.
Yeah.
We passed a couple 120s like in early season, and then we went back in December to try to fill my buck tag, and Christian was like, a spike walked out, shoot it.
Yeah.
Like it was.
See, I want to do that.
Well, what's
but-
funny is he agreed to shoot the spike,
But-
and I swear to you,
but-
before I go, 'cause it was -20 this day,
Yeah.
and I'm like, listen, dude, we're gonna die out here, but whatever comes out first, draw your bow and shoot it, because he didn't want to eat a $500 tag. I agree. And a spike walks out, and I go, well, let's see what you're about to do. And he
Yeah.
What
goes,
did we see beforehand?
we had
though?
seen a 125-inch buck across the field. And he's like, I'm not shooting a spike. There's a good one over there. And I was like, well, he's not right here.
Well, there was like 5 days left of season. I was like, I'll just come back,
and he did.
and I did, and another mess up happened.
If it's a
but-
spike, I like.
right?
Oh, God. All right.
walk.
Thanks for tuning in. Careful.
Yeah.
He might be listening. Look at his getting his head a little bit.
A spike, I mean, hell, dude. Now, that's the same thing with how I feel about the New Mexico elk situation. Is like, it'll depend that day, how I'm feeling that day, and how it's all
Yeah.
going.
No,
Yeah.
the first good thing you see, I think you need to.
Oh, 100%. But like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to shoot a raghorn the first
Right.
day.
No.
Right.
No.
But I mean, as long as you don't shoot on the first day and you also like keep that mentality of, oh, it's the last day, this little spike. No. And I'm not like that. If you're like that, whatever.
I get
but-
it, dude. You're better.
No. I just,
Yep, yep.
I've got goals I want to set for myself. I've killed the smaller ones, like the little dinks. Small
Mhm.
enough where we don't even keep the horns.
The score?
Yeah. Don't even keep the horns.
I told my buddy Jake Ears, I said, yeah, I think he'd score about 60 inches. He goes, that's a, what did he say? It's not a dud, a scrub. What is a dink?
Yeah.
He goes, that's a dink. You don't need to score it.
Yeah.
And I was like, dang, that hurts.
We call them shithead bucks.
If it's so small that they say don't score it, I'm like, that's probably a little too small.
Yeah.
I showed Jake my Kansas buck the other day, and he goes, oh, this is him? And he was holding him like this. I was
Oh, I
like,
didn't know.
ah.
That's the first time seeing him. I was like, good job.
That's funny.
It's like eating your wife's bad cook, and it's like, not have seconds.
My wife never has bad cooking.
If she's watching, she doesn't.
True,
No, that's
true.
fun. Well, I mean, it's been fun to come up and
Oh
hang
yeah.
out.
We got to hang out a little bit before this, so we kind of
took us
mean-
to what, habaneros or something.
yeah.
Well, when Miles said, you in the mood for Mexican? I said, Missouri Mexican? I think I'm good.
Yeah.
It's a long ways from the border. It was actually pretty good.
Yeah, it was good. It's one of the. I mean, there's a lot of Mexican places around here, but it's one of the better ones.
Yeah, habaneros was good. We went to Bass Pro. Check
Yeah.
out, obviously, $43 if you want to check out the wonders of wildlife
Yeah,
there.
which that's also the museum for all the big bucks that they talk about, and it's the museum
Mm.
and the wonders of wildlife. So it's not horrible, but we're all cheap asses. We're like,
Dude,
43.
We're not gonna do that.
43. What do you mean? You just not bought a gun while we were there. Allegedly, government. Sorry.
Actually, it's not.
No, technically, it's not a gun.
Technically, not a firearm. So
It's not a firearm. Well, that was funny because the lady came out and she goes, it didn't go through. And I was like, I swear to God, there was a receipt in there. I was like, how did
I
it
looked
not...
at my account.
Which one of you guys put her up to that?
me.
Okay.
Who do you think it was?
I assumed. She
And
had
then-
such a good poker face.
Oh yeah, she's like, as long as my boss doesn't walk out between now and then, we're good.
Mm.
Yeah. And then they tried to. You guys had some salesmen that were trying to sell you some vacation homes. Or,
No, thank you.
Yeah. The first 15 minutes I was in there, I was like, man, I'm good. And he's like, okay, but before you go, like, I thought he was going to hand me a pamphlet, and I was like, yeah, whatever, and throw it in the trash. He was like, read me off all that stuff. And then we walked back by him, and then he was like, hey guys, how you doing? Brandon says, no thanks. Saved a good 30 seconds of our lives.
What's funny is he didn't even fight it. He goes,
yeah, I get it.
I know.
Yeah.
hit him
There-
with the head nod.
There was one time I went up there like 2 or 3 times, like in like 2 days or whatever, just because I at work, and the same gal was there the first time. I was like, no, thank you. And she just came in and she just eventually started nodding her head at me. It's like, all right, see ya.
Don't do it in
We
here.
know.
Yeah.
You're wasting
They
your
have
time.
to know they're annoying, though.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they hate their job.
So I did that job. I got a marketing internship one time down in Austin, and it was literally a field sales internship. And they're like, no, it's field marketing. I'm like, no, that's field sales. And
Yeah.
so I went to I ended up going to the Domain, which is an outside shopping mall, and I was selling HelloFresh.
Oh, really?
I was selling HelloFresh meal kits. This is in like 2018, before HelloFresh was like huge.
Dang.
And so I'd be like, "Hey guys, you want a HelloFresh? You want a 65 meal delivery options to your door?" And when you say, like, people will walk by you and not even look at you, or they look at you and just go,
Yeah,
and not say
I'm
a
good.
word, and it hurt my soul.
Oh, I don't care.
No, I went home and I was like, I don't want to be this. I quit after the first day, but I did that, and my the guy I was working for, he was like, "These Austin women, they're kind of fruity. He's like, you got to act a little gay."
Yeah.
And
Oh,
he
no,
was like,
thank you.
he's like, "Hey, ladies," and I was like, I don't think this is the job for me. I don't think I can do this long term.
Oh, my
So I did it for one
gosh.
day. Long story short, and it was fun for a day.
Anyway, salesman at Bass Pro, leave us alone.
Yeah, leave Brandon alone.
Yeah.
You guys.
He'll remember your face.
Yeah.
No, they won't.
Oh, okay. Well, so where can people check out your stuff?
Unnotched on everything. So Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube.
So what happens if you start notching stuff? Do you change the name to Notched?
No, but I do have a trademark on both.
Okay. Just in case.
Just in case. Yeah.
Just in case you start notching.
So try to fight me. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
I'm gonna keep Unnotched, but I just wanted to, like, Notched is a pretty cool name. Nobody had it. I was like, really, nobody has this? I was
take
like,
it.
all right, I'm taking that one too, just to have
Notch
it.
and then notched.
Yeah, but no, Unnotched is just kind of like maybe you think like I got a couple screws loose too,
Mhm.
and that could take it that way. I don't know.
But do you not? I take it as like, don't take it too seriously.
Yeah,
Like if I shoot something, that's
awesome.
awesome. But ultimately, if I go unnotched, haha.
Right.
You know.
Exactly. And so it'll probably say that. And it's kind of a cool name.
Yeah, it's.
I mean,
great.
it's not like-
clever.
It's not Sanders Outdoors or
Well, we thought
Babcock Outdoors or
Gaylord Outdoors.
Gaylord Outdoors.
Outdoors. Oh.
Hey now.
What was what we'd say, like the Ozark Assassin or something? You should change your name to something. So
Ozark Bandit.
yeah, Ozark Bandit.
I'm pretty sure that might
cool,
be
though.
like a stripper name somewhere.
That's all right.
And yeah, I think it might be.
So unnotched on everything.
Yep.
And people to go check you out.
Yep.
Cool. Well,
Sweet. Thanks, guys.
this was fun. And once again, Troy's his name.
Yep.
Troy's not going to listen to this, but thank you for letting us shoot this in Patriot Archery. Very nice shot.
Very cool.
Buy his stuff.
Yeah, buy his stuff.
Yeah,
and
stuff.
I think he does have a website. So if not, order on Facebook because
sells on Facebook.
he will ship. He does custom arrows. So
If you guys
got a-
want to,
Yeah.
3D target.
he's got a huge selection of arrows
And
Massive.
broadheads, and he's a darton dealer.
And fletchings. Pretty much anything that you want, he can do. So
he's a beast.
yeah,
This
he's
is the
awesome.
nicest archery shop I've been
It's
in.
clean, good lighting.
Very clean, and he's got some foam to shoot into.
Yep.
And this is where you made several videos.
Yep.
Right. I've seen you like red line sight and setting your bow up in here. This is a great little spot for content.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I wish it was mine.
And it can be one.
Sooner than later.
It can be. Well, I think we're going to end the live there, but thanks for everybody for sticking around. And this has been Mr. Unnotched.
Jesus loves you.
Bye.